You want to know when
Indeed, just tune to Spoon and you will know what is happening in Liberia.
decision just
When the politicians want to make their decisions,
you want to
just tune to Spoon.
in the administrator.
You want to know what's happening in the ministry, in the agencies, what the policymakers are doing, what the latest news and updates are in the country.
You pro
Just tune to Spoon. In Maryland, in Bond County, in Bapolu, in Sino,
yeah.
in anywhere that across the 15 counties of Liberia or across the world.
You got a sport TV.
This is where we bring you a full package of all of the happenings plus analysis. My name is Nelson Colette. Spoon Talk tonight, as always, is live across the Spoon Network, Spoon FM 107.5. We're live on Voice of Liberia 104.1. And thanks to our affiliate stations across the country that will most times relay the program even without telling us. We live across our social media handles, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, Super TV, and of course we are live on YouTube. Our YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. So welcome to the show. As always, we get to start the program with your calls, your thoughts, your views. We open the phone lines to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What is it you want to talk about the happenings across the country? You know, it's been a very busy day here in Liberia, in Monrovia. A lot has been happening. Today we saw the following the stand protest, the head of the organization, former chairman of the CDC, Mobile Molu, turned himself in at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. There was an engagement, a meeting held. Want to see you and the rest of the team come on. They will give you more details on that. From the angle of the Senate, the legislature, let me say, the first branch of government, a lot has been happening as well. Most of you are aware that the lower house closed. They took the annual break for the second session. So the second session has come to an end. The next time you see that body reconvene, especially talking about the lower house, will be the third session of the 55th legislature. They close up with the passage of the national budget, discovering additional sources of revenue, increasing the draft national budget. But that the budget was sent to the Senate, most of you are aware, and since the lower house closed sometime last week, the Senate has been actively doing business. They're expected to close today. Even as we speak, it's 17 minutes. Yes, it's 17 minutes up to 9 p.m. in Monrovia. The senators are still deliberating on the issues. They want to they want to conclude with all of the agenda items before they go for the break, but it seemed quite a little bit more impossible, from the look of things. But what's happening at the moment now, especially for those of you watching Spoon TV, if you're following the Spoon page, but now you'll be able, you will know that the Senate is still having the 60-day sitting of the second session of the 55th National Legislature. They're expected to close tonight, immediately following today's sitting. They've passed on so many instruments at the level of the Senate. The Oranto Deal passed. The Ivanhoe also passed. They concurred with the lower house and several other instruments. Well, the draft national budget is before then as we speak. That's what they're deliberating on. So we are going to bring you more updates as the unfoldings of Capitol Hill continues. We'll give you more updates on that. But again, welcome to the program. This is Spoon Talk. I'm Nelson Colette. We're going to take your calls as we always do for the first segment of the program. You can keep your calls coming to 0555-101075. But let me welcome a few of our folks joining us. I see Philip Ballard. Mr. Ballard, thank you for joining us. Billy Weir, thank you. Venetia's Junior, thank you for joining us. Opi O'Neill Johnson is here tonight. We appreciate you for coming on. Honorable James Zina Queer, thank you for coming on tonight. Elizabeth Pum, that's okay. So I didn't get the last name right, but thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Albert Burpler, we appreciate you tonight, brother. Thanks for joining us. Amara Fofana, thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate you as well. I see Casey Johnson, thank you for being here. We ask you to kindly share the program as you join us tonight. It doesn't matter where you're joining us from. Please just share the show across the different social media handles. Eric McGill is here tonight. Eli Kawa, thank you for joining us. I see Hipko Kazi is here. Tipples Dempster. Thanks for joining us. All right. He says, Nelson, thank you for fixing the sound. Okay. I guess we have some issues with the sound, but thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate all of you joining us. Maggie, Tewald. Yes, thank you for coming on. We're gonna go to the phone lines now. Take your call 0555-101075. That's the number to call. You'll be live on the program. Let's take our first caller here. Hello, your name and where you calling from. Let's hear you tonight.
Nothing could even to you, my friend, brother. How you this wonderful Thursday evening?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's good to have you on.
Nothing what you do for now to the season. We don't know what have been our Christmas party from the CEO on our rest television process for the year season. So when the CEO can please put the question to him. Well, my second point will have to deal with the issue. First, in the first one is Mohammed M. Kamen Chion. And Mohammed Kamen is a member of the Unity Party in the Bureau and I still want to 16 this evening.
All right. Mohammed Kamen, thank you.
Hard effort. Yeah, very quickly. Kamen, well, we'll let you appeal to President Walker. I think President Walker need to see it necessary to leave the bank off the business of our dividends. Yeah, regarding that to the president of our business. Then the president imposed the ban on the issue of the railroad aspect on the garden. I don't think I think to myself that they are not doing any good business for now because they are taking their business to SETI and other company here, and then indeed that they even have to credit their business to SETI and other factories. Even on the credit their reward to the company, then for them to even get their money in return, it can be very difficult for them. So the president needs to see how best to call the garden on the round table to see how best for him to leave the bank also indeed that they can
thank
all
you
the benefits.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank
so
you. Oh, sorry. We have to take the next person. Hello, your name.
Hello.
Where you from?
Hello. Good evening to Spoon FM family and good evening to my
loving people
of the Republic of Liberia and good evening to you, dear brother.
Let's go to the point,
in
sir.
studio in Liberia. The need remain constant at Pangso EF Kamara once again tonight, our beautiful Thursday evening. Let's see what on my mind have to do with the protestation yesterday and the incident that occurred at the Capitol building were heavily undermined. Our democracy have been heavily undermined by President Joseph Numa Boakai and his Lamex lieutenants. And let me say this. The counter reaction by opposite forces were heavily planned by political bishop Brown and President Joseph Numa Boakai.
You think so? Do you have evidence to that, or you just saying it because you think so?
You are levying evidence to it.
Hello, Efanso. Efanso. Please,
yes,
please don't drag me into that thing. I'm not.
Okay, then let me proceed.
I'm not an
Say
evidence.
You don't want to be part of
I'm
it.
not a living evidence. No, I'm coming out. No, Efanso, listen, Efanso. Okay, sorry. I think when you call on the show, you talk. Let us talk too. You can't just call you talking and no. All right. I have no evidence that Bishop Kotu Brown helped organize. 1 second, sir. 1 second, please. 1 second. I have no evidence that Bishop Kotu Brown or whoever you mentioned orchestrated protestation or whatever. So don't say I'm a living evidence to that. No, I'm not. I have no evidence. I have no connection. I have absolutely no idea. All right. So yeah, You call in, you're free to say what you want to say, but don't direct me into it. I don't know about it. Let's take this person. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Yes, I'm Jeremy S. Dennis, calling from the Omega Build.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes, what is on my mind this evening is pertaining our president.
Okay.
We the first time photo for the man for chief of we the photo we are not seeing anything. And we put our experience into him today to make him to be where he is today. But nothing. We the youth. We go to the university or Latvia, no here, no till. We come to business, no here, no till. Job. Instead of going to class, we the young people were going to get a job. At the end, somehow graduate from high school. Nothing doing. You see other people that are to college at the end, they are still sitting there, nothing.
Thank you. Sorry, I think you left the line. Sorry. Hello, your name and where you call from? Let's hear you. Line. Hello.
How you doing, Leslie?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's good to have you on. What's your name and where you calling from?
Thank you very much. My name is George Zetano Jr., a power revolutionary son of Lufa Kate. I call you from Disco Island, Kawe, Lajo.
Say, what's on your mind? Let's hear you.
Thank you. My attention has been drawn to Munba Molu, the so-called Munba Molu. Munba Molu. Nobody will take you serious in this country. I can tell you, you can take hundreds of protests in this country. You will never succeed. You are a failure. You are a betrayer. You are a traitor. You betray George Weah. Nobody will take you for judicial will not take you for granted.
All right.
Then you see George Weah before he gave anybody job, he can sit with them. We meet George and sit with them. No more do say before George Weah gave anybody job, we meet job. He can sit with them. Are you kidding me?
Thank you.
You got protest in this country. He said you want freedom. When you give a test and you feel the city feel ready, they can say yes. They want that 14 countries or 15 countries that people trusted them. They gain a test. Says yes that they feel overwhelmingly. And then they come here today, they say they want justice. You know justice? When auditors were killed in this country, you can't see. Today you are speaking. Are you kidding me?
Thank you for your input. Hello, your name and where you call from? Let's hear you. All right, we lost that person. 0555-101075. Hello. Yeah, good evening. It's good to have you on. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Compliment.
Same to you, sir.
My name is Yogu. I'm a member of the party. I'm calling for Faji tonight.
Yeah, let's hear you.
For me to be on your network tonight. Next year, I will asking my president today. You know, the arrest agenda, the first A is agriculture. And the agriculture that met there, the president, even he failed in all setup, and that's supposed to be agriculture. So I'm currently appealing to my president that will execute with this order released by him for all local farmers. That was for me. That executive order is affecting most of our brothers, for more especially for the rubber industry. The people go a person that rubber, the fire spoon and the jetty they buy for small money, and the people are losing. So in Liberia to if that people is gaining money, they get some people too. Right. So all the money can be on the president. So I beg you, I know the president is listening to the platform and he will see reason to re-level that ban for all the people. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you for your input. 0555-101075. This person, hello, your name and where you joining us from? Let's
how are you? This Adama Kane just
Adama, it's good to have you on. Let's hear you.
Look at the intellectual forum. Nelson Kule, I wanted one day you can go see the crop for an apple life what away advocate. Nana brother, if we do Bamatan and they play want to make up a spoon, one spoon of people for agriculture break. I play that level, new woman. When you see the small but advocating for coming to go on as all of our Babolu next. Let see me and then I'm coming back our glass, so I can see so we'll be seeing the development.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, nothing. I beg you. Don't say you guys are calling after the show. You guys know we. You call it. I'm making you give my call and I'm begging you. Please,
right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Hello, your name and where you call from? Let's hear you.
Yeah, okay. Once again, Alfonso Kamara, I never lay my thoughts.
Yeah, but listen, Alfonso.
And we cannot look at the causes in Labrador, and if we can go after. Before the whole protestation saga could start, we all know what was the standpoint from the angle of the ruling establishment. So we put that to rest. And yesterday, protest was agree on the constitution for people to assemble peacefully to petition and call on their government to do the right thing whenever they feel disenchanted of the governance system. But today, protest have been bad, ugly on our constitution. That is the standpoint I was driving at. And today, Joseph Nima Baka told Labradorian people he was going to come and fight corruption and fight drugs. His son Tata Baka had a bar. They are selling substances, harmful substances to our kids, to our youth population today in the society.
All right, okay, thank you. Alfonso Kamara, that the thing that you can do, you just level allegations and you have absolutely no proof to that, and you want to drag other people into it. Hello, your name and where you call from? Let's hear you.
Nothing. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Let me say good evening to His Excellency President Boakai. I'm Samadi Kefla and I'm joining from Upper Mike.
Yeah,
so let me appreciate you for giving all the opportunity. Two issues quickly. Let me appreciate the government from January up to December for the development for our country. From key sectors like Minister of Finance, Foreign Affairs, is doing outstanding. Water and sewer, LPRP, etc. So I want to say thank to them. And next year, I think it should be greater than this year again. So I want to say thank to them. And lastly, I said something yesterday on a show concerning about the local fund, but Mr. President, the reason why the people go to the pool to maintain the government or the change government is to see the welfare of everyone. Firestone and Jetty, for my investigation information we are getting, they are actually local fund when it comes to the executive order, when it comes to rubber. These people, they are exporting our people. They're not buying our rubber correct. So the people have the paper or the president had a raising a decision when it comes to the executive order because the people are crying. So you can't certify 2 persons for 100 persons. You got more local farmers than Firestone and just Jetty around here. These people, they are actually our people. Thank you.
Thank you for your input. So we have 2 more minutes to take your calls. After which I'll be bringing the panelists on. I see Ambula Mame in the background and Mr. Russell as well. I'll bring the 2 panelists on shortly. Hello, let's hear you.
Good evening, Brother Yergesin.
This is Nelson.
And Nelson. Good evening to the public.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
This is Brother G. Lahasin, where they calling from Kingsway, Ibitavoro. That's what really on my mind is the peace and stability of Mama Liberia and the hardship that we are going through. You know, a past show, CEO asked what is it that the government has done, and you know, a control of promises, and what negative has it done. And Homo Gray were brave enough to see that this country is hugely divided. Now let's look at let's finish this. Like I say, how is the country divided? Since election, they have refused to recognize the excellency of Joseph. I've been the president. You have the opposition party refused, but you still call former president John Mahama as president. You don't see that separation there? How will the country not be divided? So I think they must hold themselves responsible to or dividing the country and let them recognize and work together. The mistake they have made, let them try to work on the mistake for 2029. They're trying to suppress the government or divide the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. Hello, your name and where you come from? Hello? Okay, this person. Hello?
Hello, Nadine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nadine for the my down calling from here today.
All right.
Nadine, look, what happened yesterday?
Too bad we lost him. So we take the final caller here. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Edward Shannon and I call for Central Virginia Back Settlement.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, my brother, what's on my mind has to do with this protest issue. You see, what integrity does, it haunts people. You see, what Molu did actually to the religious community when they advised him to begin indisciplined and immoral to the religious community when they told him just to defer the date of the protest. This is why he got a blood news from the protest. The number he expected, he did not get that number because the Liberian people have lost confidence in him and they believe that he has absolutely no moral to question this regime because just 6 years ago they were there, he was serving as party chairman, and he told us exactly the former president was doing as president. And because of this, he got bloody nose and I lost it. Let's see come back next time. I hope the government will give him chance to protest. The Constitution gave him the right. Thank you.
Thank you for your input tonight on the program Spoon Talk. We want to say thanks to all of you, and we ask you to keep following the show, keep sharing the program as we have this edition of Spoon Talk loaded, heavily loaded for you, and we ask you to keep sharing the show as you come on tonight. Let me bring Mr. Winfred Russell on. I see Mr. Ambula Mame in the background as well, the Gbapolu boy. Welcome, Mr. Russell, and welcome, Honorable Mame. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Yes, so the men are honorable now. Wow.
Yeah, the men are honorable. I understand the man has a movement. You know, the movement will be launched very soon.
Oh, really? Okay. Honorable Ambula, nice to meet you and see you and hear about this movement that is soon to be launched.
No, quick disclaimer. I just throwing something in the air.
Don't mind Nelson. He can just throw things in the air, but we're not really far from that. We trying to make sure we can be visible to the extent possible, just to help make things happen, right? You know, you talk about things, you give opinions about them, you want to get involved into ensuring that some of the aspirations and views you have, you know, can be actualized. So we'll push that going forward. But for today, a lot of things happening from the courts to the legislature to the communities, the protests. We've got a lot to discuss and a lot to share our opinions on. So we're looking for the other panelists to join, Winfred, and then we can pick up from there. A lot of good things, the bad, the ugly, the sweet, the bitter, the sour, the disappointment, the frustration, the happiness, the hope. It's the opportunity to talk all. So we'll begin with, you know, doing that when the other panelists start to join.
You know, I want to come in quickly. You know, it's like the thing I threw in the air. It got some weight in it. You know, when you say you've expressed opinions over the years, and there comes a time when you got to get involved. Does that mean that we're about to see Honorable Mame officially establishing the movement and maybe contesting in a particular district or a county, especially when the influence is high in Gbapolu County?
Well, I've been involved. I'm just talking about extending that involvement. We'll be involved in everything. It's not just opinion. I'm just saying there's a time where you want to be more involved. You want to be more visible. I mean, some of the things you're doing, you want people to know about it, rather than it just being kept the way it has been all the time for different reasons. So that's just what we're talking about. But we'll be involved all around, you know, on the grounds, opinions. We just feel that it is becoming time that we extend that involvement, we make it more visible, we begin more engaged, so that some of the opinions and aspirations we have, you know, we can actualize them. Whether it's through collaboration, whether it's through, I mean, just acting. But we'll keep that for another time, Nelson. You can't take all from us today.
Another political party, another political establishment, or anyway.
Why you want to establish different political party? You know, why you want to do that?
But you talk about visibility. You talk about resonance, and my question would have been, but you are already visible. You're on one of the largest platforms, both on terrestrial radio communications and online, web-based, and social media all over. So what more visibility do you need to get your message out to the public? I mean, do you need to start another entity? I mean, you're already part of a critical voice of one of the biggest platforms out there.
When we get to the point of how we can be more impactful and more visibility, you know what that will mean.
So at this time, with a lot of things, Nelson, the information is being classified. So this is not for public consumption at the moment. So so we dig it, we dig
at least
it.
he has given us a hint,
Yes.
And, yeah.
So
and
that's something we
I'll
should.
highly support the movement too. I mean, I think it's very important for some of the best brains in the country to get involved at different levels, So, yeah.
But
I don't want the people to beat me up.
Let's talk about what's trending. A lot of things happening. We saw the quotes. I mean, you have to tell the people to please share the links for others to come and join. Let's have the conversation tonight. I will be moderating. Stanton is, going somewhere with his daughter. He will not be able to join the show, but I will be moderating. Try to, as much as possible, fill in a big shoe that Stanton created, just to create a platform for us to talk about things that are happening. Wilfred, you follow the situation in the legislature. I mean, all the big concessions were signed. We're not starting the show yet. We're just hitting the ground. We'll open the line until all the panelists can come. We'll open a little bit. But yes, the concession passed. We listened to all the different debates. You've been following, and you saw the way the voting went. Some of the people who said, no, I will not vote until this is done. I mean, they voted. Probably we need to ask them what changed. We are casting the expression on them. Others who said, I will vote under certain conditions. I mean, decided not to vote. We need to inquire what's happening in there. And when the broad picture, how does the country benefit? How does it hurt or help the country? So you follow it. Let me hear your thoughts, and then we can hear from Nelson. If you get some videos, you can show that. We'll open the lines while the people are calling and the other panelists are coming, and then we'll pick up from there.
Yes, I've been following. I mean, there are a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving pieces. I mean, see all of that. I mean, quite frankly, I was a little disappointed, and I one of those who, when folks tell me they're not going to do something, or they say what they're not going to do, I try to keep them to the word. So a lot of what folks have said that, I mean, some of the folks have said they were not going to support the particular bill, or they were not going to vote for it, and to see them voting for it and supporting it was just embarrassing and disappointing, and to say the least. So I know we're going to get deeply involved in the conversation and trying to dissect and and unpack a lot of these issues, but it's just it was just disappointing to see some of what happened today. And I mean, we will be discussing a lot of it, but it was just disappointing.
When you say some people, I mean, who you can reference, who you thought would have voted the way you thought they. What expectation? Who the specific person you thought would have voted maybe yes and they voted no, or would have voted no and they voted yes, or you want to keep that for the discussion?
Yeah, we'll keep that. I mean, I know we just have a preliminary
Okay.
conversation. It's just a prelude to what is going to come. You know, I'm not going to drop any names now. It's just going to wait until we get into the meat of the conversation, so to speak. But just, you know, it's a whole, you know, myself, you know, being a politician, a local politician here, I mean, your word means something, or your word should mean something. So, you know, one way to say, this is how we're going to vote. And usually what happens here, to you know, Nelson and Ambula, you know, usually you hear politicians here say, this is how I'm going to vote. You know, they will tell you that before they go in to vote. And they will stick to that. I mean, they will not be vacillating between one position or another. They're not going to tell you this is how I'm going to vote, and then when they get on the floor, they're going to vote some other way. I mean, for the most part, and maybe some of them do that, but most of the folks I know, they will tell you how they're going to vote, and they will vote that way, except something dramatically, you know, were to change. But other than that, they're not going to tell you one thing, and then when they go into chambers, they do something else. I mean, they usually don't work that way.
And if anything in the process significantly influence you to change your opinion, they will feel obligated to speak, to say, okay, yes, I said no for this reason, but because of the new information I got, I'm saying yes. I said yes before, but based on the new information I gather, I'm saying no. I mean, that's just responsible and ethical to do, right? But in most cases in this time, I mean, somebody said yes today, tomorrow they go say no. In fact, the president on the floor said the man know how to make his way. You know, those are the type of things people do, and they get praised for it. They say the man know how to make his way, he gets sweet tongue, you know how to change. But Nelson,
yeah, that's very
list.
dishonest, though. Yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, you're right, and I mean, here, if and things do change, right? So, and if things were to change, or you know that made you to vote a certain way, or you were planning to vote a certain way, and you know circumstances may have changed. I mean, like you said, you'll come back to your constituents, you know, let them know. You make a public statement, say, okay, you know what, I was thinking this way, but you know, I got some briefing, I got more, you know, information, and because of that, I'm going to be voting this way. And most times, I mean, each body has its own rules and stuff like that. But even if you're voting yes or no, especially if you're voting no, at least my council, you're voting no, you would say why you decided to vote no, or why you're going to be why why you're going to be voting no. I mean, they will usually say that, you know. But I mean, yeah, it seemed like our ethical compass here is a little different than in some other places.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead, Nelson. No,
yeah, I think Mami is on the call.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was on the call.
Okay.
But let's see. You got a list. You can put it up the way they voted. Then we can open the line. I'm sure the other guys are coming. Anybody in the background yet? If not, so we can just get some public opinion while we wait for the other colleagues to come on.
Okay, I see VP is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me try to arrange the listing.
Okay.
Let me try to work on the listing, because there were different. I don't know which specific issue you want the listing for, because the Senate passed on 3 key instruments today: the Oranto deal, the Concord, you have the Ivanhoe and the draft national budget as well, the HPS, the Ivanhoe, and so for the HPS, there were 21 senators that voted in favor of voted for the passage or the concurrence of that deal with the lower house, and 4 senators abstained from the voting process. And it was a whole political drama surrounding that particular passage today. But at least the Senate got 2/3 for the passage of the HPX concession that will allow access to the railway through Guinea for the transport of iron ores from Guinea through our railway. And then for the budget, I was leaving the Senate as senators were about to take the vote. So I'm in touch with my colleagues there. I'm going to get the actual listing in terms of how many persons voted for, against, and all of that. Yeah. So I'm arranging that, and I will come through with it shortly.
Okay, so Vendela, you just joining. We're still preparing for the show. Now you started. We're just giving introductory comments on things that happened today in the legislature, at the Supreme Court, in the communities. Somebody told me about, okay, we'll leave that until I can get confirmation that the guests will be coming on. Stanton informed me that the former wife to the ambassador for sports, the Liberia ambassador or envoy for youth and sports, is supposed to be coming on to share her experience and stuff like that. So until we can confirm that, I just wanted to get your thoughts on other things that happen. Sonny passing the legislature to the Supreme Court, anything drum on your mind, you can talk about it.
So I'm concerned about the draft budget. I don't know, except I see the final version of the budget they pass on. My attention has been drawn to the Ministry of Justice.
Wait,
one of the issues,
Candela, what occasion?
Well, today I had a very powerful meeting, and I went there as a traditional man to honor my forefathers. And I went to Internal Affairs today to officially congratulate Fatima, who happens to be the Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs. And I had to go there with my traditional regalia. That ministry is as a debate. So when I went there, from downstairs, I think this kind of dress code is good. The only thing that was missing, my coyote. So next time, I think I need to contact Zanzan Kawa to give me the original ones. So yeah, but I mean, I'm just kidding, man. But usually, me, Ambula, I love traditional clothes, especially during this time, yeah. But as I was saying, I hope the Senate pass the draft budget with an increment to the Ministry of Justice. Ambula, one of the issues we face in this country, it has to do with the rule of law. Today we're celebrating MCC Compact, but we did not pass rule of law. We cannot continue to fail on rule of law. Without rule of law, there will be no stability. The Ministry of Justice is the defender of the rule of law. So giving them a budget less than $10 million as it was passed to the lower house, that means even the prosecution that we're talking about, people stole from government in the past, people are accused of corruption, the Ministry of Justice will not prosecute them because they don't have money. Refusing to give money to the Ministry of Justice, it is to exonerate perpetrators of injustice. Where the money will come from? The magisterial courts, they will not be functional. The staff, they will not be paid. We only see justice reflected in Mosorado. Go in the legal countries. See the people that are in prison. The poor people, children, they are in jail. The cases are on the dockets. There's no justice. As we're speaking right now, people are crying. They want justice. So for our lawmakers, I will hold back, but if they stay past the budget without $9 million, we'll be calling on the president
during the recast to make sure the Ministry of Justice is giving significant amount of money so that the prosecution, everybody is wishing to see people going to jail to prosecute them. It will happen. In the absence of money, you can't do anything. So I think this is what caught my attention. I hope to see the final draft of the budget that was passed today.
Thank you, Vendela. We just get information that Dr. Brupler will be joining us. I mean, in a few minutes, he will join us to begin the discussion. But let's call the names and probably open the lines for 5-10 minutes while Dr. Brupler and other people come on. Let's call it name. Let's go to the oil concession. Let's see how people voted. I know what the reaction from the public. Nelson, you got it ready? I have it here. If you don't, I can call from here.
Yeah, so I think you can call from there.
So for the oil concession voting results, Liberian Senate, and the way they did it, they opened it up. Everybody should see clearly where your senators stand and ask them to explain the condition under which they voted the way they voted. Those that voted clearly for Orento, Senator Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, Senator Edwin Sunu, Senator Darius DeLong, Senator Emmanuel Zupeno, Senator Butu Kane, Senator Nyimani Batikwa. They voted for both Orento and Total. Those who voted for Total Energy but consider Orento to be a problematic concession and decided not to vote for Orento. Senator Nathaniel Magee is not strange. Everybody saw him from the beginning. He was very vocal. He stood his ground. He made his case, and he remained on his case. He voted no for Orento. Senator Amara Kone, also from the beginning, very vocal on his position, clear, communicated. I just reading a statement that he just released after the passage was made. We'll read out the discussion continue. Also voted no. We have those who voted no for the two concessions. Blebo Brown voted no. Besson Gafinle, no. Wellington G. Von Smith, the argument was, I'm from a coastal county. I'm not seeing clearly in the concession how it benefits the people, and we could not have open discussion on the concession. On that basis, I have nothing to go and explain to my people on why I voted yes or no. So on that basis, I voted no for both. Bill Twawi, the same thing from River says, same sentiment. If from a coastal county, he can see clearly they're not opening up the concession for discussion, so he voted no. So he voted no for both of them. So Nelson, let's open the line. Let the people start to. The people been following the discussion. Is that anything new? They've been following this discussion. Is that anything new? They've been hearing about it. Let them begin to give us their opinion based on what they're hearing. Those that voted clear for Orento, Senator Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, Senator Darius DeLong, Senator Emmanuel Zopeno, Senator Butu Kane, Senator Edwin Snow, Senator Nyimani Batikwa. Please open the line.
All right, so folks, you can call now. 0555-101075 is the number to call, and you'll be live. Let's get your take. Let's have your take on the voting process today at the level of the Senate for the passage of the Orento deal. And let's start with this person. Hello, your name and where you call from?
Good evening, Nelson.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is George Zezetano Jr. The proud on Lufakate. I call you from this Allen Kawela.
What's your take on the voting process today?
Thank you. There are certain people, certain senators, when they vote
for a bill of concession.
Mm-hmm.
We know there is something for the Liberian people. The rest of that alone, I don't know. These are credible individuals. These are credible senators. So we have trust in them that will step for a rescue mission and social worker will succeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. This person. Hello, your name and where you joining us from? Hello. Can you lower the radio and just listen to your phone? All right. Sorry, we can't continue with you. Hello. Yeah, hello. Let's hear you quickly. Your take on the voting process today.
Yeah. Mohammed, let me go into you from that angle. My name is Mohammed M. Kanichion, active in the business on the big island. That's it. See, the protein, Manazam Kanga Lawrence, Senator Dillon, Motorola County, or Senator Bodokani from Baboru, and Senator Edwin Gadisino from Bomi County. I think the senator that you voted listed, I think, they are in favor of Liberian people and voted yes. I think vote no voted and they vote because they want
Thank you.
The best of the people.
Thank you very much. Hello, let's hear you. Hello, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Oh, sorry. We need to take the next person. Hello. Okay, so we take this person. Hello.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah, hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is George D. Gabby, and I call the second final city in Bonkande, total down to Pacific.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to tell you people thanks for the show. But the way our senator then, gave invite, I think what people can be saying about invite sometimes.
No, but listen. So, 4 persons voted no. And then 21 persons voted yes. So the question now is, what do you make of the voting process, the decisions made today by the senators?
Okay, let me go the side you want me to go. And we send our representative to that place for them to do what they are doing. So once the majority come out to say what or to do what they did, because they know it will be in the best interest of us that send them. So once the majority come out to take the decision that they took, then it means
thank you.
I will tell them thanks for taking that decision that they took, because they know that it will.
Thank you very much. This person. So how many calls are we taking, Mr. Moderator? You are muted. I'm not hearing you.
You can take 5 more calls, and then we'll move.
All right. So yeah, go ahead. Caller number 1 out of the 5.
So good evening. My name is Thomas Zandola, and I from district number 17.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
As relate to the passage of that bill, to be very frank, I'm not surprised. Yes, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because this is almost like a routine. Our people no longer consider the feelings of the common people before taking any decision. They only consider their personal feelings.
Do you think the voting was right or wrong?
Give us a positive result as a people or not, they don't even want to discuss it with us. They only take a decision that will suit their pocket and their feelings. I'm kind of disappointed in Senator Dillon, to be very frank. Completely disappointed.
Thank you for your input tonight. Let's go back to this person. Hello, your name and where you call from?
Yeah, good evening one more again, but this is Kamal. I called to make my contribution on the voting process in the House of Senate. Hello? Yeah. I want to tell the Senate, the House of Elders, they are not doing the business of Liberian people. Because you cannot tell me at this time, when government is supposed to be up down, they are still carrying on voting process. Things that is mistake is not done at all. So it's a dubious agreement that they want to pass.
Don't you think?
How you call it? Deal they want to pass. It will not be in the interest of Liberian people. They could have done those things. I was saying they will see it, but look at the hour they are still carrying on voting process. So it's a fair play, right? over there. The election is now credible enough.
All right, you think because it's happening in the net, the lawmakers stay in session as we speak now, so it's
wrong.
Nicodemus.
It's
All right, thank
our
you.
constitution.
Thank you.
The constitution does not give that credence. All ministers, just say land ministers should be closed down the latest part o'clock. What they should be doing Labrampo business at this time, where Labrampo are lined up, falling in a various sleeping places. They say working on behalf. We are
Right, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, your name and where you call from? Let's hear you.
Evening, Lord. This is Gary G.
All right, go ahead.
5.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, firstly, if you come into the public resource discussion, I request that maybe members of the House of Senate will appear on Spoon FM from other sides, yes or no, and there should be a hard talk discussion, open it to the public, telling us why actually all of these because things they are always signing, why it's not in the interest of the state, and why they always violating the rules of the Constitution of Liberia. Thank you and have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. So we take the third caller here. Hello.
How you doing?
Yes, sir. We okay. Let's hear you quickly.
Thank you. This is Pastor David. You know, our people really funny in this country. One day it's no good, the other day it's bad. So, Nelson, we need to stop.
Can you be audible a bit? You're coming in very low.
Hello, you getting me?
You have to step out a bit, sir. We can't hear you very.
It's okay. I'm hearing you. This is Pastor David.
Yeah, but Pascal, you are low. Can you step up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm yelling you. I think it's okay now.
Yeah, go ahead. Just manage with
Yeah,
that.
it's okay. Gee, thank you. So I would say, one day snow is good, and the other day is bad. You know, this is how people appear in the eyes of the government. So remember now, this government, Unity Party government, is noted for not just, deals, for good deals. You know, it's 8 session. Mame, who is
No, you're very low, Pascal. I'm sorry. Hello, let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening, Nazim.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Thank you. Giving a second opportunity. My name is Paco. I call on my way that going to my home now. The was when it's in the in color. Yesterday, the thing I read on my man out this week, yesterday, we said they were protesting. You know, Nazim, this is one of the worst time like ever winning.
No, we're not talking about protest. I'm sorry. We're not talking about Mobile Molu and protest. We're talking about the voting done by the senators, for the passage of the deal. What do you make of that? So we take the final caller here. This one from WhatsApp. Hello.
James Akwe again, calling from Fargo, North Dakota.
All right.
And I called earlier, and I just want to tell the Spoon family many thanks for the setting up of this network that continue to inform the Liberian people. But nowadays, many time now is reducing to almost like a real station, traditional street market, very noisy. And start to try to bring it back, but sometimes it can be very difficult.
Hello, sir. We respect your view, but I also want us to stick to the conversation. The question is, what's your take on the voting process today at the Senate? That's the.
Okay, so my own stake is that, and I only hope that Liberians will begin to elect, and people who will go to the House and do those things, and will work in the interest of the ordinary people.
Okay.
And great job. Yeah, great job. And
Thank you, sir.
Network, thank you for all that you continue to do.
Thank you, sir. So I think we've taken the 5 calls now.
Thank you. So Nelson, you in the background just for some question. Do you have access to like putting information up, like the videos and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. And just in case you have anything, you can send it to me on WhatsApp. Then I will have it uploaded. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So,
I have a question. Did we take calls from people in the diaspora, or were just merely Liberia-based calls?
There was one call.
open.
Yeah, there was one call from the diaspora. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he said from Fargo, North Dakota. Yeah. So there was the line was just open, so people were just calling. So, gentlemen, that's it. The show is open. Oranto is passed. I will give my opinion on that. Total is passed. Ivanhoe is passed. So let's start with the legislature. The passage, I think the budget is also passed. Let's start with the legislature, then we'll move to the court. You know, this whole Samuel Twe case, the Supreme Court is saying Samuel Twe is not part of the national security architecture, whatever way they call it. But we're seeing documents are showing, or the Minister of Finance rather, but we're seeing documents are showing that the Minister of Finance is actually part of that national security structure. Whether that document is authentic or not, but our understanding is that is the act creating, I think, the NSE or whatever they call it, and the Ministry of Finance is part of it. So let's start with the legislature. With everything we heard about the Orento deal, the general conversation was, we are giving Orento 10 years. When the petroleum law says every petroleum exploration contract should be for 7 years. That 7 years can only be extended when the first work programs in the 7 years, that 7 years can only be extended by additional 3 or 4, whatever the amount. When you have successfully completed your first phase of your work and they see the need to extend, then they extend. So meaning that 7 years have to be earned. You have to work, complete your work, and then they say, oh, but the work this person is doing, there's a possibility they can make discovery, so they extend their time so they can be able to make the discovery. But in the Orento case, against the law, they give them 10. Signature bonus, one-time payment, 30 days after the contract is executed. In Orento case, they say you pay in 4 years with different installments. 4 years. Orento say they qualify, but somebody have to come and guarantee for them. We got a guarantee here, we'll put it up. They call it their parent company have to come and guarantee that I guarantee them, I stand for them. In the Liberian way, you say I stand for the person. Free them, let it go. I stand for them. You cause trouble in the village, you're not able to defend yourself because you don't get good name. So somebody can stand for you. Say, I stand for the man. Let him go, you'll come back tomorrow. So Orento, big company can stand for Orento in Liberia. So you give it to them. I'm standing for them. And then we'll give it to them. Those were the 3 issues. The signature bonus, the length of the time, and their capability to do the job. Somebody had to come and stand for them. All the story about the past, people raise it, yes, fine. But that one happened in the past. People who get cleans and you didn't pay them, you can go and sue them. But this one before us, those were the 3 issues. The law, 7 years. We give it 10. The signature bonus, 30 days after payment. That has been the practice in all the concessions. But Orento will spray for 4 years. Capability to do the job, somebody can stand for them. So you follow it, Patrick. What's your take? We'll go back to the senators, different snippages we're getting from their Facebook pages, and we'll read some of them. But what's your take on the Orento agreement?
My first disappointment is with the Senate. It is imperative to state clearly here that Liberians are being disrespected. Though, let's face the fact, many of those in the Senate, they don't have the technical capability to review and understand clearly issues that surround, you know, when it comes to drain oil or
Patrick, 1 minute. Patrick, 1 minute. Nelson, others in the back, please put them on. Go ahead, Patrick.
The same with me. I am not an expert in everything. And that's why it is important a country that subscribes to the tenets of democratic values and principles and believe in the input of the very people they represent, they will have public hearings bring experts from around the world, Liberians, and even other international experts to come clearly and articulate so as to give them a sense of reasoning as to whether they should allow Oronto to exist or that deal should be passed or not. It is only during elections they come and consult us. We see them in our villages, we see them in our towns, in our churches, in our schools, sitting with the students, sitting with the pastors, meeting the market women, consulting, asking them what you want me to do when I get to the Senate or House of Representatives. When they get there, they do the opposite. The 7 years. I think it's about time for us to begin to think deeper. Whether groups of Liberians have the right under the Constitution. When the senators willfully and deliberately violated the Constitution, ignoring the 7 years, ignoring the 30 day, what is going to make the payment, the spread into, different installment payments. I think it's critical for us to begin having conversations on the issue of legality. But in conclusion to this matter, the senator did not do all just. They didn't do all justice. I know all of people will say, oh, the other men voted again. You're supposed to consult. I think the first argument should be, most of us don't have the technical capability. Let's bring experts to come and
Patrick, let me ask you. The law is written for even a 7th grade student to understand. It says petroleum contract should be for 7 years. Do you need an expert to tell you that this thing is saying petroleum contract should be for 7 years? It's not only Liberia. You go Ghana, that is in law. You go Sierra Leone, that is in law. You go Nigeria, that is in law. Liberia is there 7 years. Total under contract is there 7 years. Do you need PhD to understand that the contract says 7 years? Signature bonus. So let me finish asking you, Patrick, you will answer. Signature bonus. The law signature bonus. All the other signature bonus you receive, that one-time payment, whether it's ExxonMobil, whether it's Chevron, whether it's they even one coming what they call a Selamita, all signature bonus anywhere, that one-time payment. This one, you spread over 4 years. You need expert to tell you, say, you must pay the signature bonus again. That's the question there to you.
I'm not telling you, no, Mame, I'm not talking about the legality. I'm talking about what is in the contract. The legality of the contract. There are so many provisions in the contract. In the first place, this is the same Oronto. I think I know Easy, I know one Easy. He's the owner, right? I stand to be corrected. Sure. Is he the same guy from Oronto, right?
Sure.
But this is the man who came here, he bought one oil block for 250,000. In no time, the man sold it and walked away free with millions. Right? We never benefited. Today, they see men can buy in the country. So, hey, if I say you should open it up, it's for the public to participate. Because you represent, or these are our employees. They cannot make decisions in our absence. And it is also good for the promotion of democratic values and principles when there is an inclusion in the policy making of the country, such as concession agreements, where citizens participate. Once you give them a sense of belonging, that they too belong, they can debate, they can ask you the hard questions. Why you want to switch from 7 years to 10 years? Why you are not asking these people for them to pay a in 30 days, you spread a in 4 years or whatever. These are the hard questions. Why they never did that? But again, we don't blame them, because during elections, some of the very people who are arguing the senators are wrong, they truck them. Some of them left from here, they went to different countries. They truck them like animals. They didn't live in those countries. They voted. These people spend their money. So what you expect them to do? They don't have your time. But 2029, And I'm sending this as a caveat for many of you. Some of we're not supposed to be here, we'll be talking. We only talk because we love our country. Today, you will be yelling, you'll sleep in pain. Whatever they say, it is binding, you cannot undo it. But again, the president has a choice. We hope our next step now is to the office of the president to make an appeal so that some adjustment can be made. That is our only hope. I want to rest
Thank
here
you,
now.
Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Winfred, you follow the story. You understand the issues. I mean, it's there to you. The legislature passed it. It going to the president. The understanding is the president will sign it ASAP.
Yes, I say I've seen it. I've been following the issue, and we talked about it preliminarily tonight, and now we are going back around to have an in-depth discussion. You know, I just have again, like I said, I'd like to register my disappointment because I thought the case was made why this was not a good deal for us and for the people, and why we, you know, the legislature, both the Senate and the House, they needed to reject this. But clearly, they did not buy the argument that you and us and many others have been making, that how bad the deal is. I mean, clearly they did not listen to us. They did not buy the argument. So a part of my thing is that a couple of things is, and that would be a question to you, because I know you were one of those who are at the forefront or putting out information, educating the public about, because you're very familiar with this sector and a lot of what goes on there. So my question is that, I mean, it's very simplistic to say, oh man, you know, these folks don't care, the wicked, the this, the that. You know, we talk about the corrupt and all of that, but fundamentally, what didn't we do, or what could we have done better to have changed these lawmakers' mind? You know, to vote the way that we were hoping that they were going to vote, that we would have loved for them to vote against this bill. So that's one. And then the next thing is that the signature bonus, is this something that is peculiar to Liberia? I mean, why, you know, I mean, for these lawmakers to get the signature bonus, I mean, I understand the whole concept of the signature bonus, but for individual lawmaker to benefit from it, that's part of what I don't understand. And why do we continue to allow this to happen?
Well, my understanding is signature bonus goes to the consolidated account of government money. It's just called signature bonus, right? In the natural resource sector, it's just called signature bonus. It is not going to lawmaker, it goes to the government consolidated account and other places where it has been already determined. Regarding what you could do better, I don't know. But everything I know that's supposed to have been done to tell lawmakers to do the bare minimum, to say, let's stick with the rules and award Orento, that's the bare minimum, a concession for 7 years because that's why it's required. Let Orento pay the signature bonus as required, the same way Total is doing, the same way all the other places it has been done in Liberia. Let Orento pay that signature bonus. Nothing more I know of that could have been done to get the lawmaker to do that. It was just a decision not to do it. So I hope that answers your question. So Phoebe, you follow the story. I will be putting up the provision on the law that's talk about the 7 years. We'll put up other things for people to read so that it doesn't appear like we're just talking off our head, and then we'll go into the second round of the discussion. It's over to you, Phoebe.
Yeah, so good evening, everybody. We look forward to a good show. Yeah, so that's something that shouldn't be strange. And sometimes we all sit here, we do our different arguments. but we should know that some obvious things that whether we like it or not, it will happen. And the passage of the Oronto D is one of them. And all we can hope for is a better Liberia that will come soon. And I heard my man VP talking about go to the president to adjust. The bill came from the executive to the legislature. So the legislature passed it as it is. I don't think the president going to change it before signing into law. So the other one, they're not going to fall on dog's back. So we should just keep engaging our lawmakers. And you said it right. People will vote their own interests. Sometimes we don't. I know you said people they should always come back. But when you vote for people, you also surrender that decision-making right that you have to them. So there will be a lot of times they will choose to come back to you for your opinion, and some other times they will also choose to decide for you because you're already giving them the right to do that. And so the public criticize it for so many reasons. We discuss it here on. We all have our own sides. Some of the very senators that spoke against it voted for it today. And so let them lead out of topic. But it's good that the Liberians know what's happening and they will read the act, they will read all the laws that are governing it. But at the end of the day, is it? And it's unfortunate, but we just have to deal with that. I think the men are looking for that Christmas morning back. You see the contrary. The men are looking for that Christmas morning. So, Mommy, I know you're disappointed, but I'm about to. I'll leave it right there.
Hey, Phoebe, Dr. Brupler, welcome. Jacob, good to see you. We having a conversation on the passage of the oil concession, the passage of the rail concession, the mining concession, the budget. But currently, we're talking about the passage of the Oronto agreement. We've listed the names of lawmakers who voted yes for Oronto. We call that shortly. Senator Darius DeLong believe it is good. He voted for it. Senator Nyombli Kanga Lawrence voted. Senator Boto Kane voted. Senator Emmanuel Nunkwe voted. Senator Amara Kone voted against. Senator McGill voted against. The two senators from Riverside voted against. We'll put a list up later. So we're just having a discussion. We wanted to be more specific. What were the burning issues? What were the core issues? Some of the core issues were, one, the law says 7 years for exploration license. Oronto is 10 years. Why? The practice and precedent all around has been signature bonus is a one-time payment, 30 days after the concession is signed and printed. For Oronto, the signature bonus is spread over 4 years. We call it CRP or we call it payment plan. How does that sound to you? How do you react to such a passage? Dr. Brupler.
Mame, good evening. Good evening to all my friends. Good evening, Liberia and Liberians everywhere. Good to be on the show tonight. I was hoping for a different vote, especially with the Oronto deal. We did our part to raise our voices. And those who have the responsibility to vote on this matter, they did. So for me, it's about what can we learn so we do this better. I heard you say earlier, Mame, anything else we could have done. So I think moving forward, these matters are important, especially in national conversation that affect the welfare of people eventually. I think we need to draw the circle wider and take the conversation to the people and have the people themselves engage their lawmakers also. I know sometimes we think our people are just totally unsophisticated, but that's not true. And if we do small community engagement, like you do on the other side, and Winfrey understand this well. You know, I worked for Barack Obama first campaign, and I learned from him how he effectively did that community organizing. We need to probably do that more for things that are important like this, so that not just, you know, some of us raise our voices, which we did, and I'm glad we did, but it's the community. When the senator go over here, people, my Mapu told him. When the senator go over here, Benedict Bayoga told him, I think you're doing your own vote for you. It would not be good for us. I think if we draw the circle wider, we engage more our people, I think we'll have more force. And I think those who represent us will probably pay more attention, because it's not just coming from the quote unquote, at least what some people consider intelligentsia, it's coming from ordinary people, because all of these things eventually affect the welfare of all our people.
Thank you. Jacob, I mean, during the hearing, the FPRA presented that Oranto is producing oil in one country, Equatorial Guinea or so. When the Senate asks for evidence, it shows that Oranto were not producing no oil anywhere. But it was Atlas Oranto, which is Atlas International, which is a sister company to Oranto and not Oranto. Then they presented a performance guarantee. The Atlas now presented a performance guarantee. So the contradiction there is, if you say this company is so strong and has made discovery and even producing, then why do you need performance guarantee for them? But it was established actually that Oranto is not producing anywhere in Equatorial Guinea. It is Atlas. And Atlas is a different company from Oranto. That's why Atlas is the one now who providing the guarantee for Oranto. But you follow the situation, it is passed, you've been doing some analysis. What's your feedback? And Nelson, please put up the provision I just told you about on the 7 years while Jacob is speaking.
Yes. So first of all, you see, what we see at the legislature and also involve the executive when it comes to our approach as a country towards natural resource. I think we are expecting an outcome that is always going to be an impossible outcome, because we've gotten it already fundamentally wrong from its very foundation. And I think I quite well followed the Oranto deal. I also saw Honorable Musa Hassan Bilete comment at the lower house and the reason why he voted no on the Oranto thing. And also I saw Senator Amara Corner comment. And of course, I've been also reading your thoughts, including other experts in the area when it comes to this whole Oranto deal thing. And you can even expand it further to other concessions agreement. Now, my position is very clear. I take a more macro level position or have more fundamental position. And that position for me is the way as a country we approach natural resource governance or even business when it comes to our natural resources is wrong. And that wrong premise will always lead to a wrong outcome inevitably. And if you notice the current concession model we're using holistically for all of our natural resource is a model that is as old as Tottenham time. The very first time we opened up this country to extensive natural resource exploitation was under Tottenham open door policy in that period. And the model that Tottenham constructed for natural resource exploitation was based on rent seeking, right? We open it up, we found private companies, we give our natural resource and we collect royalties and collect maybe corporate income tax, collect basic taxes on the margin of it. And then, of course, anybody can come with some resources and take the natural resources away. The country as a whole needs to have a clear conversation, a detailed discussion, dialogue. All stakeholders, including citizens, have to say, look, we've been using this model to exploit our natural resources for over 50, 60, 70 years. It has left this country extremely, profoundly poor. On that reason, we know that the model is flawed, the model doesn't work, right? But we still operating on that model, things that we can do some fixes on the margin here and will give us result. It cannot give us result. It has never given us result. It will leave us poor year in, year out. So my whole approach, my whole perspective is that the entire model has to be challenged and reworked when it comes to natural resource governance and how we give our resources out. I mean, sometimes you and I probably have some time to work in alien government, and we saw all of the concession agreements that came. You know, we saw in the hydrocarbon industry, in the petroleum sector, all this working, they pay signature bonuses, 40 million ExxonMobil. We spent years doing all of that. What was the result? The result was a collapse, NOCAL. The result was more poverty in level, or even poorer than the resources that these model matter. So we can say, oh, let's do the fixes here and there. Let's go to the legislature. People will go there, take some brand evidence. But the question is, does the model even work in the first place? I mean, today, Sam Jackson did some sort of rough, analysis. I mean, if it was not that detailed, sophisticated enough, he just did a little bit of Google something and look at our natural resource value, from iron ore to gold. And I think he didn't even include Wologisi, Putu, and other places. Our natural resource value is already amounting to around $500 billion. Now, if you add our fisheries, our underwater resources, timber, you could be talking about $1 trillion worth of value of natural resources in this country. Now, if you have a country of natural resources value of $1 trillion, and we're the fourth poorest countries in the world, it tells you that the model really, really doesn't work. So my thing is, we need to go root and branch and try to even we talk about concession model, concession agreement. We need the whole model need to be revisited. That's what I suggest. Otherwise, since Todman time, the same model after how many years, no result, it's not going to work. The rent-seeking model is not going to work. That's my suggestion.
Thank you, Jacob. We'll just do one more round close on this, and then we'll move to the situation at the court with Samuel Twe, and then we'll move to other issues. But what is his name? Nelson, please put up the screenshot of the provision of the law and excerpt from Senator Connell's statement, and then also just to give you a balanced view, the statement released by the LPRA. So Nelson, are you there? Just put up first the provision from the law on the duration of petroleum agreement. Nelson, are you there?
All right, sorry, I was muted. So the provision.
Yeah, it has to be the one that no, not this one.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Petroleum agreement shall grant the contractor an exploration authorization for a maximum, that's the law, for a maximum period of 7 years, divided into initial phase, followed by extension periods, which shall be granted to the contractor at the contractor request, provided. So it tells you a maximum period of 7 years. And if the contractor requests, then you provide it, provided that the exploration work commitment to be carried out in the preceding phases were fulfilled. Please pull it down. Maximum 7 years, extended only after the completion of the first work program. The fundamental reason for that is you don't want somebody holding on the government asset, not doing anything with it, only passing around looking for a buyer. And then when you have somebody who really want it, It's in another person here who doesn't have the capacity to do the work, and that real company have to go now and negotiate with them. That's why the law says in 7 years, you must be able to do what you have to do. But we gave Orento 10. And all the advocates for holding the law sat there and we're waiting to hear what justification they have to do that. Please put up what Senator Conan wrote. Let me just read that line, then we can all, It said, by rectifying the Orento agreement, this is the part that took me. By rectifying the Orento agreement, the Senate joined the executive in squandering a critical opportunity to uphold the standard the Liberia petroleum sector urgently needs. It sends a dangerous message that in Liberia, paper guarantee can substitute for proving technical performance in acquiring petroleum rights. Even the signature bonus, a mandatory one-time payment, has been diluted into a 4-year installment payments. Please take it down. The petroleum law says you must have proven technical capabilities before blacks are awarded. But today, we're using paper guarantee for a company. Signature bonus, supposed to be paid one time, paying it over 4 years. The contract supposed to be for 7 years. We're giving it for 10 years. It's not a good sign. But we'll give it up to you guys to conclude on it, and then we'll move to other topics. Just closing comments on that.
Mami, if I may. So one-time signature bonus payment spread over 4 years. 7 years, this company giving 10 years. I was reading through and I made some notes, and I asked myself, is this some kind of pro-African, let's give this thing to our own people? Because again, one of the critical pieces is that a performance report, my choice of words, but you got to show that you have technical performance in a particular area, not just on paper, like you said, and that was not there. So those 3 things combined, and you still give it. So the question then is why? And what I think needs to happen now is the media needs to ask all the lawmakers who voted for it to say why. That's what we do other places. That's what we do when you're sitting. And they have a responsibility to answer, to tell the public, I voted for this because of X, Y, Z, and I didn't vote for this because of A, B, C. I think all those who voted for it should answer to the public and just say, and I think the media need to be intentional and ask them, why did you vote for this Orento deal, given this? Because, and let me just say this, and I'm done with this part. So to Jacob's point about model, I couldn't agree more. That we're using a very flawed model. And it's a combination of things. One, we have a very centralized system. And then we went back and introduced this consolidated fund again. So the reason we're poor with all these natural resources and the deals is because we don't designate revenue. We take that money and put it in a consolidated fund. And all of you who work for government, you know very well that a few powerful people can take from that fund anytime. That's where the indiscipline starts. So listen, if you take this particular money and you say, whatever monies come from there, it will go for low-income housing. You solve the second greatest need of our people, which is shelter. And then after that deal, Liberia will be better off. You take them from the Zing round and the shack and the shanty town. At least they get in one-bedroom apartment. They got flush toilet. If you say the money from this other company will go for education, something we do a lot across the river, we designate that money and that's what it goes for. You can hold people accountable. You can say there should be benches, there should be chairs, there should be libraries for our children. But they don't do that. They take the money and they put it in a consolidated fund and then go back there and just take money for frivolous stuff and then spend all the time rationalizing and justifying. So I think moving forward, one, like I said earlier, we need to work harder with our community members so we put more pressure on these lawmakers. 2, the media need to go to the lawmakers and ask them, please tell the public why you voted. They are responsible to say so. And 3, we need to look at the model. Now, we'll give the president credit. He's pushed for decentralization. There's some pushback to that, but I can tell anybody for free that would be one of the best ways to attract talent to the county and to help this country develop from the bottom up. Otherwise, it will be that top-down thing, and like Jacob was saying, we'll be in the same place after deal number 1, deal number 2, deal number 3 will have absolutely little to show.
Thank you, Dr. Brookler. We'll go to Wilfred. From Wilfred, we'll come to Patrick. From Patrick, we'll go to Phoebe. From Phoebe, we'll go to Jacob. And then we'll shift the topic.
No, again, Mohammed, thanks. And there's no need to belabor the point. I think it's been made. It's been made clearly by Jacob and by Dr. Brookler. We are definitely using an archaic model that has not given us any significant dividends, and the fact that we continue to use that and we cannot push or change the system is just mind-boggling to me, But like Dr. Brookler said earlier, I think one of the things is that for many of us, and including you, Mame, who is more of an activist and an advocate for seeing a really good system put in place and ensuring that these lawmakers are doing right by the people. I think one of the things is that the best medicine, I think, is sunshine. Okay, having a sunshine policy and pushing and ensuring that a lot of what we do is in the sunshine. And Dr. Brookler talked about it earlier. That's what I was talking about. There's hardly anything that we do here where we don't get the public involved, where we don't educate the public, where we don't engage the public, whether we are putting up street lights or traffic light, let alone something this big and major. So I think in part of our advocacy, the likes of you and Martin and many others who are out there, I think it's one of the things too, though, is that because the system and the people who are at the helm of the system, they're so entrenched in these sort of archaic models and ways of doing and processes because it benefits them personally, and it's very, very difficult to change. So one of the things is that, while we're at it, let's advocate for a more sunshine approach to doing things. And and bringing the stuff out, engaging the public, engaging folks, before we push these things through. I mean, it's now pretty much as Phoebe said earlier, it's almost like water under the bridge. I mean, it's done. It's the done deal. There's nothing we can really do about it. We can cry from now until the cows come home. I mean, it's a done deal, and it's very, very frustrating. But I think in part of our advocacy, holding these lawmakers' feet to the fire and ensuring that they employ a more sunshine approach when these things come out, I think that may help too as well.
Thank you, Winfred. Phoebe, you look exhausted or tired.
Yeah. So look, like I said, there are several points that we have made. A lot of the points against it. The lawmakers, majority of them are not lawmakers. They got the title. That is talking on Jacob's point, that looking at the model that we are using. When you assume the authority to become a lawmaker, one of your job is to review the existing laws that are on the books and see how you can bring them to current day reality. But today we are still living with 1972, 1960, 19 days. We stay in the 90s. Most of the laws on the books, the penal code, you look at them, most of the acts, most of them stay in the 90s. They're waiting for the executive to make suggestions to them. When they should be taking those things, reading them, and bringing them up to date with current day reality. They don't do that. So, and like Patrick said earlier, we blame the people that voted. So if someone take you and pull you in, pick up and carry you somewhere and get you 10 out of vote for them, at the end of the day, that's the kind of decision the kind of outcome you're going to get, because you are not allowing yourself to vote for substance. You're chasing the petty cash that will not even sustain you for one day. Your beer money, a few hours, you finish drinking that thing, you PPA. But you are making 6 years decision or 9 years decision with something like your PPA in less than 3 hours, you finish drinking it and wasting it also. 9 years you gave to that person, and they go there, they say that they blunder, and you crying, you complaining, you get on the radio now, you start calling for a banner district, disappointed, ain't no partisan of this other party. I don't do, you wasting your time. And by the time I now your face, look at your face. The gray hair will start shooting left and right, your face is getting wrinkled. And you complaining, wasted years. But that's what you sign up for. And I always tell people, you can pray. You pray to God. God is coming down and make decision for you. All the things you need to do, you need already on earth. We will not pray for God to just open way to take advantage of opportunities and for God's guardian and to be a God. But God doesn't make decisions for people. We make our own decision. And when you blunder, you will live with the consequence of that decision. You can cry. God don't care whether you sleep on the street, whether you sleep hungry. Because everything that you need to have a decent life already on earth, you have to take advantage of the opportunities. So when you vote for people that don't have the IQ to make better laws to change your life, you're going to live with it. You will just complain, but nothing you're going to do. You will live with it. Probably, if you're lucky, you vote the next time to change. Other than that, you will even die in the process. But we're going to keep complaining every time. We will keep talking. Our job to talk, to help, to say, like I said, I will not go to jail for like people. I will not be flogged for like people, but I will talk. For talking about, I will talk. So you have that commitment from me to talk for you. But flocking and going to jail, that one, I don't sign up for it. And now I support the army we said when you were running, the running pedestrian. But thank you.
Thank you, Phoebe. You know, I mean, I want to disagree with the whole thing about the model. And then when you're talking about the law, we get 1972 law. This law in this case was passed in 2014, 2015. This law that says you will get contract for 7 years. It was passed 2014, 2015. 2019, it was amended, right? So, I mean, it's about will to do something and do it right. This law, and this on the law that get 2014, 2015, amended 2019 law that is written clearly and is written for a reason. Because if you hustle in the first 4 years, 5 years, you can't find somebody to flip the black to. Anybody who want it will not come to you when you only get 2 more years on it. You see what I'm saying? The person might just want to wait a 2 year, they can't get their deal by themselves. But if you get 10 years, you get sufficient time to pass around. That's why Orento push for 10 years. If they're able to get somebody in 4 years, be cool. If not, they get additional 6 years waiting for them that they can still use to play around. So it was 2015 law, 2019 amendment. So it's not about the law being old or the law being new. It's just about the mind being wicked or the mind being good. So now go to Patrick and then come in.
Patrick, can I take your plate and you talk after me?
Okay,
otherwise you can go ahead.
All right, let me go ahead quickly.
No, I think
we are in sequence. Okay. We are in sequence. Let me just be done, then you come in. Look,
no problem.
I think Liberians have been robbed several benefits. One of the reasons why we are backward, we don't think about the future. We are concerned about immediate happiness. Entering a petroleum agreement, especially during this period of global energy transition, it requires Liberia to be more strategic than ever, because a rush deal of this nature is a bad deal. Very terrible bad deal. But look at the company in question. This company has a history of not draining anything. They will buy it and keep it. In fact, I'm suspecting that some big companies will just use this company to go ahead, pay small money. Because imagine if Chevron had come in this picture, the money Oranto is paying to the government of Liberia, they will triple it because of their global standing and reputation. This man came here, this same company came here, bought one oil block for $250,000. In no time, the man flipped the oil block to Chevron. And the guy walked away with millions, from thousands to millions. He comes back. And with no proper vetting. The bad thing about it is that instead of this deal going through international bidding process, it's direct negotiation. And that's why it was imperative for Liberians, technocrats, not just in Liberia, there are qualified Liberians across the world, expertise, significant understanding when it comes to the oil sector. Assemble these people, let them open this document and tell all what is good and what is bad to enlighten the minds of our senators so that when they're making decisions, they will understand clearly where to vote yes and where to vote no. Or maybe inject certain things in the document. They didn't do that. And I'm so disappointed in my senator to vote yes on everything. No consultation, nothing. And I'm not surprised. You know, this is the same, you know, senator from Magibby. I mean, excluding Senator McGill, he did well to say no to this. It's bad deal. We got to be clear on some issue. The oriented deal is bad. Because this man has a history, the owner of this particular company, he came here. He bought something for $250,000. Less than 6 months, the man flipped it all. Who benefited? He gave Liberia chicken chin. When they bought it from him, he walked away with millions. And this is why it's important to remind the voters. You see, some of you, like I always say, I like to give a disclaimer. We are not talking because some of you suffering. No. We are talking because we are national patriots. We believe that it is morally acceptable to speak our minds. Because just 2 years ago, some of you were in trucks. And in fact, when you were in those trucks, they were giving you a water bed to drink. You left from there, you went Bon Grand Gila, where you never been before, just to register for $20. You mortgage your future. You sow your faith. You bury the future of your children. Today, you are sitting home hungry. Terrible. The people that you thought, but receiving $40, like my right to vote. Everybody get their right. Fine, you got your right. They may have your right. The problem we are in today that some of you they cause. Some of you vote based on tribalism. Your own are your own. That your own voted today. Your own that your own. That your own went today and voted without consulting you. And I doubt whether this deal, this guy, this Oranto, I am suspecting that guy will flip it over. He will flip it over with no consultation. He has a history because I had a man makes money. He came here first. The man bought $250,000 and was yelling, oh yeah, or the man flip it over. He walked away with millions. Who benefited? He the one benefited. We were here running behind Chevron for $10 million money, while the guy who took more money from, he was passing it around. So again, I blame the senator for not consulting or in conclusion, but we should not have been at this point. If you begin to vote based on what you know will happen in the best interest of the people, you will not get in trouble and take you to places you've never been. So today, some of you have no moral ground to even blame these people because you put them there for $20, not based on conviction.
Thank you. Jacob.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you. And again, you did a great job, Ambula, and I always follow your work. You bring great insight to the public discussion, especially when you made reference to the laws. I agree with you. These laws are quite recent in terms of when they were enacted, and then some of them were amended. But what I can say is that you can do a lot even today, but the operating system, the mindset that you bring to the creation of a law in the current movement could be archaic, could come from like 80 years back, where you bring an 80-year-old mindset and just write down the lines of law in the current movement. In technical terms, it doesn't really make that much of a difference because it's the same operating system model. Now, again, I agree with you in terms of the fine lines of the law. Meeting 7-year agreement and you do 10 years, a requirement, you do 10 years, signature bonus and all of that. You can just see the way we even write our natural resource law that it's a very narrow-minded vision. I mean, narrow-minded not in a pejorative sense, but just in terms of the vision, the way we look at it. The focus is on create collective signature of bonus. So the first thing that comes to mind, how much signature of bonus we need to collect, put in the law. The next thing we talk about, the terming of the law. Yeah, we're going to find it in a way that it helps us. But even at that rudimentary level, even at that basic level, we're not even able as a country to meet our own laws that we write down. Why? Because everyone is in a hurry just for some kind of quick catch. Let's collect some more money, the budget. We need to finance the budget. We finish doing 1.2 billion budget or whatever the amount is. We got an expenditure program, but we need a revenue side of this budget to finance the budget. So no car budget, go around Nigeria, just go look for PSC, production sharing contract, just running all around the place, collecting, production sharing contracts because you want to meet a $1.2 billion budget proposal. So strategically speaking, you're not driven by an overall strategy to say, okay, we're doing natural resource management. First of all, let's say now the country, what do we want to do with our natural resources? What is our approach? If you go to a country like Botswana, you go to a country like even Ghana, you go to strong countries, there is a clear national strategy towards how we behave and act when it comes to our natural resources, especially resources that are finite, that can finish. Now, that strategy is there. Then every other thing comes out of that strategy. But the way we do ours is like firefighting. Oh, do a budget, or you go look for revenue. So even the way we even concession our natural resources are one, but even the way we even utilize the resources and the revenue that come from the natural resources is also very wrong. We use natural resource revenue to buy gas slip, to buy government car, to pay for public bureaucracy, employ more people in government. At the end of the day, bombing hills turn to bombing hole. At the end of the day, Yekepa is turning to some kind of big place. At the end of the day, everybody hungry, everybody poor after years of exploitation. So we can do the production sharing contract. I agree with you. The lawmakers are not even able to meet it. We just talk about that. Who are the people even going to the legislature to make big decisions like giving our natural resources? Because this is not no joke decision. Somebody can get small envelope, $10,000, $50,000, somebody go and mortgage it. So we really need to have this discussion as a country, and all governments that have come. Ellen tried to do that, but again, it came out with the same rent seeking. The CDC government came, it was more rent seeking. The Union parties, Joseph Boakai, we think will be radically different from that, see rent seeking. So why are we doing one thing over and over and expecting different results? So for me, I think it's a structural issue, and we really need to sit down as a country. The president needs to lead that drive and say, gentlemen, I send you to Nokala, I send you there, you're talking about mineral sharing, all this sharing. Is it because we're rushing looking to finance the budget? Or we want to be very serious about natural resource governance so that it can benefit our country? Like, brothers, we poor country with all the resources we have. $500 billion value of natural resources, and we still poor. That means something wrong somewhere.
Thank you, Jacob. So we move to the other side. I mean, we leave from the legislature, we jump to the judiciary. The Samuel Tuer case is a very big case we all been following. I think the government considers it as a landmark case in the fight against corruption. You know the background. The money came from the central bank. NSA went there, collected it. The speculation is it was not intended for NS security operations. People were just trying to get money out of the system during the campaign. Samuel Tua is arguing that he cannot disclose what the money was used for because of a national security purpose, and he's protected by law under the National Security Act. File a complaint to the Supreme Court, but the court ruled that he's not part of the Minister of Finance, not Samuel Tua as a person. He's not part of the national security structure. Therefore, he's not protected by that. That's the Supreme Court. But we've seen an act that is, we inform is a National Security Act that lists the finance minister as a member of that team. Let's start with you, Fubi. You follow the case, you follow the ruling from the court. The court said the lower court should proceed because Samuel Tua is not part of that national security structure, is not immune. But the document we're seeing is showing that Samuel Tua, the finance minister rather, is actually part of that structure. We'll put the document up later, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, look, the last time the Supreme Court ruled, and the federal CDC man said the Supreme Court is always right. So what they want tell us? The Supreme Court wrong today? The Supreme Court has the wisdom. And they said the Supreme Court can't be in error.
No, it's not the Supreme Court now. The Supreme Court said what she has to say. The document is available in the chat room. You saw it.
No, I'm not looking at the document. I'm looking at the Supreme Court ruling first, because the Supreme Court also have access to all those documents. And I'm sure the lawyers from Samuel Tua and co, they also presented those as evidence to back their arguments. With all of those, the Supreme Court still ruled that Samuel Tua is not covered. Only the president is covered, and probably the Justice Minister or the Defense you are covered, not the Minister of Finance and any other appointee. So the Supreme Court has spoken. When the Supreme Court ruled in the speaker saga, they said the Supreme Court can be in error. So today's edition are saying the Supreme Court in error. I disagree with them. The Supreme Court not in error. The Supreme Court used the wisdom of the court, and now they are ruled and say Samuel Tua go through full trial. So they should prepare to go through full trial. You can't sit at the helm of power and you abuse all the stuff because you think you got immunity. No, that's unacceptable. The guys, they use all sort of ways to take money from the budget. And we're doing that stuff. The NSA budget, if you see the guys that went above 80 million plus, I was sent copy in the chat room. Huh? They ordered from GSC for 2023. The excess spending the guys spent. What kind of security operation that they were doing? They were doing border patrol. They were fighting insurgency at the different borders to ensure that no worker during the election, after the election. So a lot of men Samuel Tua, some of them he managed to escape with the issue of what is the stuff name? Statute of limitation. Especially the mobile exercise. That was the first place Samuel Tua should have been nailed. But that particular stuff was ignored because statute of limitation came and passed, and after 5 years, they say you can't go after him. But at some point, something got to hook you for the level of corruption and broad-day stealing that those guys carry on. Like a lot of guys in Tabakokolo said, they were like petty criminals. So they were not corrupt, but they were petty criminals. The guys then they did all sort of damages. So let them go and answer. Now the court has given clearance to the lower court to deal with the issue. Let them go there. After that, they still have the right to take a appeal. They go back to the Supreme Court and argue. But now the Supreme Court has ruled, and we'll have to respect the Supreme Court ruling this time and let them go through for something. So I'm not looking at that act. I'm looking at the Supreme Court, because whatever the Supreme Court says, the Supreme Court, they interpret all the law. So now that they have interpreted, they have to respect the interpretation. They can't take appeal after the Supreme Court finish ruling. Thank you. Thank you, Fubi. We'll go to Winfred. Like I said, I mean, we saw the portion of the act in the chat room. I cannot independently
I've not been able to verify that. I'm also not disputing it. But like Fubi said, if they went to the court and that was their core argument, that he's immune because he's part of this national security structure, I'm sure they would have presented the act to the judges, right? And say, this is the law we're relying on to say he's immune. And if the judges look at that and also rule that he's not part of it, then that's where I'm confused. But Wilfred, what your thought?
Well, my thought is that, monkey see, monkey do. We keep, burying our heads under the sand, and we're saying these things. We know that they're bad. We don't speak out against them. We don't try to push back to ensure that these kinds of unprofessional behaviors are going to someday come back, and haunt us. Now, we are looking at what, Samuel Tuer is alleged to have done. And, the courts have spoken, Now, we are conveniently saying, well, or some folks are conveniently saying that, this was security matters, so we cannot discuss it in public. I mean, it has security implication. We started to use security as an alibi, okay? Using security as a red herring to do all this, to hide all of our corrupt practices and stuff. Now, we see what is happening, for example, in FOIA, and that conversation has been brought up. Some people too are using, including the Minister of Public Works. They're also using security as an alibi to hide their shenanigans, apparently, that is going on over there. So it's the same old cycle. Now, Samuel Tuer is using it, and then we want to push back. When Roland Giddings and Daniel Sandu and all of them are using it, and then we say, then we're saying something else. We cannot speak from both sides of our mouth. This is wrong. This is why we need to audit the entire security structure of our country. These folks continue to hide their corrupt and illegal practices. They keep hiding under security and all of that. Samuel Tuer needs to be prosecuted if it is proven that he stole money, that he embezzled the people money. We cannot continue to be using these excuses. The same way we need to press this government to come out and talk about how it acquired the money, or where's the source of the money that's building this complex out in FOIA. We can't be hiding and talking about security implication, all the time. So that's my take. Just as vociferous as we are about Samuel Tuer, we must be the same way as loud and forceful as we are about what is happening now. People are currently using security as an alibi.
So everybody trying to ride behind security. Security reason we can't disclose who gave up money to build a place in FOIA. Security reason we can't announce or be able to tell you where we did a contract. For security reason, we could not do PPCC. For security reason, nobody can see the place. For security reason, it will take almost 2 years before we can announce to the country the real story. So somebody tried to say, okay, for security reason, I can talk. Anyway, you do it as security reason, I can talk. But we come to you, Jacob. Suppose Samuel Tuer just, for the sake of himself and his family, and just say, okay, let's put a security reason one side. We took the money, we use it for XYZ security reason. People wanted to steal the ballot during the election, they were coming from Guinea, so we had to send money there. Oh, that means security reason. Let you just do it Tell the country the security reason and free yourself. You think that's possible? Do you see that coming? Now that the Supreme Court said, go to court, you're not protected. You think it will get Samuel Tuah to the point where he will just let out the cat and say what he used the money for? Or he will allow himself to go through the marathon of prosecution?
Yeah. Yeah, this security thing, since the end of the war, or started a democratic thing even under the First United Party. It's the second one, I guess, including the CDC government, keep coming out, security spending. And as a broader point, I think there has to be, another national dialogue around trying to draw clear lines between, what a security expenditure is, and where the rubber hits the road in terms of, the line being drawn in a sense to say this can be covered under security spending and this cannot be covered. That kind of clarity is so important because it looks very, very ambiguous right now and very unclear and hard to see the dividing line between amongst different kind of security expense. But on the current issue, on the discussion, I think it's a matter of law, it's a legal matter. That's not my expertise. So I like to be very careful around that and try to listen more to people who it is their day's work doing court cases and all of that. But my understanding is that, and I saw some of the documents and in the chat room, and I've been reading it this evening, and I see that the Minister of Finance is a member of the National Security Council under the current existing act. So I don't know whether the Supreme Court ruling on the matter was an error or an oversight, because of course these judges too, they're human beings and they may be liable to making mistakes. So if it was a mistake, I'm sure the Mr. Tuah's lawyer, I think have a team of lawyers, will make use of the law and then file the requisite make the requisite legal representation, whatever the case may be, to bring that possible, if it is an error, possible error to light, and then the needed fixing or rectification can be made on that level. But for now, it looks very confusing to me. I read the ruling talking about the Minister of Finance cannot enjoy immunity because, among other things, not member of the National Security Council. And then you read that the Minister of Finance is a member, but I think they also have the executing agencies like the Ministry Security Agency that execute the decision of the National Security Council. So a little bit of lack of clarity, and so I think that's the role of the media now, the mainstream media, to ask the question and seek clarification, to be able to inform public dialogue around this issue. And then one quick point, like you're talking about, Mr. Tuah making a statement trying to free himself. So, I understand trying to follow up the case that even like classified information that members of the National Security Council possess, they are required, I think, under certain provisions of the law, not to divulge or declassify those classified security information, at least over a period of certain amount of years. And if they do that without reaching those years that information are considered classified under, they can face prosecution for that also. So I think maybe probably former Minister Tuah could be caught up between them. If I divulge national security information, that could be considered a violation of the law, and he could be prosecuted for probably doing that under the provision of. So, yeah, a little bit of a tricky situation there. So we need the journalists now to ask the real questions and seek clarity to inform all of us so that we develop our next perspective on this whole matter.
Okay, but for me, I mean, the government who is prosecuting you is saying, tell us what you did with this money. I mean, I pray now that national security been in now. It's the same government who's supposed to prosecute you for diversion national security information is telling you, tell us what national security information you claim you use the money for. Then you say, no, I can't tell you because when I tell you, you will charge me for diversion national security. If I were in his case, I would say, this is the national security threat that we're facing in the country, and this is the reason why we disperse the money. You might be putting the public support from the government on your side if they see reason in what you're saying. I don't want to diverge this, but because you push me to the wall, I'm telling the nation, this is the national security threat that we're facing in the country. This is the risk. How many persons will have probably eventually died in the process, and will spend their money to save the nation. That will put the public on your side. But Vendela, you follow, I think you spoke already, Vendela?
No, I haven't.
Okay, yes. So just give me your thought on it. I will put up something later, but just give me your thoughts. Number 12 is going back.
I'm not a legal scholar, but law is precedent. The Supreme Court, you remember the case of Brownie Samoka? I think there are some similarities. I'm not saying it's the same, but it has the same similar flavor. I stand to be corrected. He was accused of misappropriating certain amount, and he was also claiming immunity from, the same very statute, that he was acting on order of the president. The president instructed him, and who is he as Minister of Defense, to say no to the president. His personal security was being at risk, and he would not have defied a boss, and he did XYZ. The lower court found him guilty. He went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court upheld the decision that he has no right to disburse, use the money, and he cannot be protected. That clemency cannot be given to him. It's only the president of Liberia. The same Supreme Court is also saying that former Minister Twer does not enjoy that immunity. It's only the president of Liberia. Like you said, look, if I were in his case, I'll be deliberate. I will articulate as a Minister of Finance issue that borders on national security, whether it was starting or whether it was already in place. My job is to disburse. And you could articulate more, and remember that was electoral process. Maybe people were planning XYZ. You know the narrative. I was not in the government. But I think the Supreme Court is acting in line with its previous decision. I'm not too sure whether they will contradict themselves, somebody claiming, protection, because they implemented presidential order. As such, they cannot be held liable. Because this court is also on record to have told Brownie Samoka, no, you can't do that. To the extent he lost his senatorial seat, he won. That was painful. So this is Supreme Court coming up again to say, you are not protected. Article 61 protects the president. While he's in power, every action he takes cannot, be questioned. I'm not also a lawyer, Mame. So the president also took an action by instructing the Minister of Finance to release certain money. So if that president can be granted an immunity or clemency, his extension of his directive cannot also be questioned. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just trying to, because the Constitution says any action taken by the president while he's in office, Article 61 was exonerated him. So while the former president was in office, he instructed, communicated, he took action by written communication, instructing, giving a directive to the Minister of Finance to do XYZ, and he executed. And today,
which minister gave directive? Which president gave directive to the finance minister?
No, listen now. The Minister of Finance will not give money out without the president, giving instruction, especially when it comes to national security.
No, but in this case, Patrick, in the case, all the conversations that have been going around, all the case file that we've read in the indictment, there is no record that the president provided a written instruction. So that correct that. There is
So
no
on who order
conversation.
he implemented? No. So my question is, on who order he was acting to disburse the money? Who gave
He
him
was
the authority?
acting based on the Sunday, he was acting on the order of the National Security Council. That
So who
is
chairs the council?
The
Who
council
chairs
is
the
chaired
council?
by the justice minister. And they say in the absence of the justice minister, the defense minister should chair as per the court ruling. But what I just wanted to correct was, as per all the conversation we've been having, there's no record to say the president wrote the finance minister authorizing him to disburse. So
No,
you
I'm
can
not looking at
conclude,
the ruling.
you can conclude
No,
to Fubi.
Yeah, no, Fubi will come in. My thing is, the National Security Council, as you said, is something that I need to check up. But what I'm reading here, I don't know, because you're talking about two acts. So we also need to
The court
clarify
ruling,
on what
the court ruling says the justice
the
minister.
court ruling. Okay, I just saw somebody posting in the. Okay, I'll take my time to go in the court ruling. I don't know what the court mentioned in here, but whatever the case may be, the court has taken a decision before. In similar situation, it could be related or have similar flavor. In the case of Brandon Samoka, and the court said you cannot claim immunity. So if the same court is saying today that you cannot also claim immunity, well, it's the final arbiter of justice. Whatever the Supreme Court says, it cannot be thwarted. It cannot be questioned. So I think going back to the lower court to continue from there will be the best option.
Thank you. We'll go to Winfred.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. And my question is that, and anyone can help me answer this. Now, yes, you have that provision in the law, but what if, but does the law protect you even if the president gives you an order that it's an illegal order and you carry it out? I mean, like it's done here, for example. If Trump tells you or the minister tells you to do certain thing and is deemed illegal, I mean, they will hold you responsible, even though the president may have asked you to do that, right? I mean, is that the same situation we have in Liberia?
I think that what happened in the Brandon Samoka case, because he was claiming he received instruction from the president, and the court said you're not supposed to execute illegal instruction. You took oath to uphold and defend, so your action was in violation. I think that's what happened in the Brandon Samoka case. But Fubi wanted to say something, and then we'll go to that problem.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point to the court's ruling here. You see, that why Justice Minister Musa Ding is not indicted. Why, what is guy name? Daniel Zianga, defense minister, not indicted. But the ruling here states that it is the law, I mean, that it is the law that when the statute specifies certain persons as beneficiaries, any other person claiming benefits under said statute must be expressly co-opted. And the act establishing the National Security Council, having expressly named its members and having further stated that in the absence of the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Defense shall preside the conduct of the acting Minister of Justice. So this is the point. It was the acting Minister of Justice and Samuel Tue and Co. that acted. It was not the Minister of Justice or the person that should proxy in his absence, which is the defense minister. So Samuel Tue, the acting Minister of Justice and other guys sat down and concocted their plan and executed it. So they got the Justice Minister, who was the official presiding officer, off because probably he wouldn't have agreed. They got the Defense Minister, who in place of the Justice Minister should have acted. They also sidelined him, and they got their clique, and they went outside of that. So the lawyer is saying that they are not protected because that guy, firstly, he shouldn't have even presided. He shouldn't have been presiding officer. So by virtue of him acting as Justice Minister or Defense Minister in that case, all of them They say the acting Minister of Justice and all others not named or co-opted by the president, claiming immunity is illegal because he was not to preside and he presided over that council and they disbursed that money. And I just posted an audit for the NSA what a 56 million excess in 2023 budget. 56 million excess. And who knows which other places they ate money. So he acted wrongly because they never had the power and they were not covered under the law to preside and disburse that money.
Thank you.
So the code is not wrong.
Let's go to that bro player. Let's go to that bro player on this, and then we can tell that bro player go ahead.
Mame, I try not to be an expert on everything.
Yeah, we don't want you to be an expert on this one.
Yeah,
we just want your layman opinion.
I think we're clear that the court is the final arbiter of legal matters, especially the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled earlier on other cases, and when the Supreme Court ruled, we said the Supreme Court was right, and people didn't follow the court. The Supreme Court ruled again. They said, "Oh, the Supreme Court is wrong." No, the court has ruled, okay, and we follow the rulings of the court, and that's it. The court has ruled. The court sent that back down. The court denied the writ of prohibition and sent it back down, and that's it. The court has ruled. Then you go and follow the processes in the legal system to seek justice. And I think in this matter, the court has ruled, and we move. And that's it.
You think Samuel Twe and his lawyer will probably be filing a bill of information to argue to the court that yes, you ruled, but here is new information to show that the finance minister is part of the National Security Council as per the Act. So do you think that is something in the making? I mean,
I don't know, but what I do know is that good lawyers tried not to leave any stone unturned in the representation of their clients, especially if the clients have means. So I wouldn't be surprised to win that route. And that's the right with a bill of information to go back to the court and say, hey, please take a look at this. And they can do that. So if they did, then we'll see how the court will respond.
Let's talk a little bit. I think we got some more minutes on. Let's talk a little bit about this Ivanhoe concession. The critical point for me there has been they do not have the right to move the oil from Guinea through Liberia. Even if you give them the concession, it would just be a waste of time. The intention is not to move oil, it's something else. They came out with a statement today explaining all the steps that is supposed to take in Guinea to be able to move the oil from Guinea to Monrovia. I did not really follow the debate in the legislature, but it has been passed. Van der Lack, let's start with you on this one. I know you've been looking at this Ivanhoe and ArcelorMittal debate. What's your take? The deal is passed. Ivanhoe is making statements of hope, talking about creating additional jobs, and even praising the president, for moving fast with this decision, building relationship between U.S. and America, commercial diplomacy, economic diplomacy, and stuff like that. So what do you think? You think they will actually move the oil?
So, I like the fact that there is competition now. That's the first thing. Nobody is going to control, especially metal steel. I've been in this country for almost 15 years to 20 years. They came here, they make a lot of promises to create 25,000 jobs, XYZ. You go to Yekepa, the place was turned to a dump site where some of us grew Went to school to Carroll High, that beautiful place they used to call Yekepa Small America. Those Indian Tarzan came in the country, they kept our people in continuous. Right here in Grand Bassanti to the Loop. Anybody who lived in Buchanan and visited the Loop, that place used to be like Europe. The place is dirty right now, keeping the people in the continent. That was wrong. Completely wrong. So they make millions of dollars, thousands. They export so many iron ore from this country to their partners, but they refuse in their own very concession agreement. They violated our concession agreement. But now refurbishing the infrastructures, nothing. The place that used to be dignified and celebrated. By this time, people are leaving from here to go Yekepa for Christmas and celebrate. They didn't do that. With the coming in of Ivanhoe, there's going to be massive revenue generation. The project, from what I read, is going to generate up to 1.4 billion in real user fees and $600 million in taxes over a period of 25 years. Infrastructure, for example, Ivanhoe has committed nearly 1 billion to upgrade the Yekepa Buchanan rail corridor and the Buchanan port. Job creation. In phase 1 alone, they want to create 500 direct jobs and roughly 3,000 indirect jobs. For me, this thing is good for us. And the good thing about it is that I'm not trying to be controversial here, but when you have competition in an economy such as Liberia, the citizens will benefit. For example, look at like Lustar. When Lustar came here, they were selling a SIM card for $65. You put money in your phone when somebody beep you, or you beep somebody for them to call you by the person money to just okay the phone. In Liberia, we used to say the person catch you, your money finished. So when Orange King, it used to be Celcom, from $65 to $5 over a period of time, everybody started dropping. So today, you see two major GSM companies. Liberians are benefiting. I have my phone right now. If I don't charge for the week, people will still call me. I'll answer my phone. That nonsense, you can't try it anywhere in the States because you got to pay phone bill. So the fact that Ambula, this company is coming, there is a competition. Liberians have the right to give. We will benefit. ArcelorMittal will employ people. You not pay your people good, they will run away from you to go to Ivanhoe. And Ivanhoe come, they want to misbehave also. The people, they will not get work on. They will say, you know what, rather stay with Metal Steel. So who is going to benefit? Liberians. Liberians are going to benefit. So ArcelorMittal will be giving good job with good salary, and other people will be giving job with good salary. There's a competition. One may yet be using a rail and be acting here and there. This is good for me for now as it's on paper, even though this is how Metal Steel 2 came. But I think when there's a competition, you're using the same rail, we'll see who is doing the right thing. So for me, I think on this something, I am happy. And like I said, they're going to create on their own paper 500 direct job, 3,000 indirect job. They are going to commit $1 billion to upgrade Yekepa Buchanan rail corridor and the port of Buchanan. They are also going to, generate $1.4 billion in real user fees and $600 million in taxes over a period of 25 years. We can amend it over a period of time, but whatever the case may be, I think this is a very good investment for me, and I appreciate that the Senate acted good on this one. I want to give it up for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brupla. You follow the discussion with Ivanhoe and ArcelorMittal and this whole agreement. I mean, it came back at a certain point in time. They even paid some money. They did not get what they're supposed to have gotten from the last administration. They put their money in the budget with all concession. And all those things came all Samuel Twerk got sanctioned. They are back. Now they have a concession ready to work, but there is still doubt. Will they move the O?
So, really, I think I think overall it is not a bad thing, right? $1.4 billion over the span of the concession, 600 million in other fees and payments made. And then, job creation estimates. It's not badly. I think where I have concern is anytime we are moving resources, whether it's right from our spot or through our borders and overseas and shipping. I wonder when we get to a place where we make value added on ground a part of what of our deal. In other words, okay, moving all this ore, help us do some small production here. You know what I'm saying? So that everything don't just go overseas, then it come back to us at a higher price, like we did with Firestone. You take all the price of oil, you send it, and then you send tires back to us, and we pay a lot more. I think moving forward, we should be thinking whatever major resources that we're producing here, shipping, or even using our space to help make your export possible. Let's make something on the ground part of the agreement. In other words, if you open a little small operation here, we put Liberians so we can produce something here. Because remember, I think we think too much about the dollars we get. Like we'll collect royalty, we'll collect fees. But if we are creating jobs here and we're producing something here, then we are also expanding our gross domestic product, then we too can either supply market or ship in the region or ship overseas, which will help our trade balance. So in other words, economically, we benefit a lot more if we're able to produce stuff here to just sell things to people and let them just scale revenue. We need the jobs, we need the revenue, but it'll be good for Liberia to be producing something. We have too many natural resources to not be producing more to supply our own market and then to ship overseas. But overall, I think it's a good deal. I mean, I think it's a good deal. You muted, Mama. You muted.
Yes, sorry. Fubi, what's your thought?
Yeah, like I said earlier, we started a discussion on HPX, MetaST, and the multi-user rail. I supported it, and I think we shouldn't give our rail to any one person or one company. It's like you're saying, one person will control the Ralphie highway, and nobody else supposed to pass there except that person. And you have other people that are supposed to commute to go and do their normal businesses. So it's the same thing, ArcelorMittal cannot be the sole user, and it's good that we have passed that level now at the level of the legislature, and the president will rectify it, will sign it into law. That's a good deal for the country.
But quick to that, Fubi. Mita has not been opposing somebody else using it. I don't think that has been the issue. I think who will be managing what the both parties is using. I think that has been the issue. They're not like opposing another person using the rail.
They wanted to manage it, and the government set up an independent body. So it's the same thing. If you want to manage it, and me opposing, you're opposing. You will decide who comes and when they come. So the point there is have an independent referee that stands in the middle, that is not part of any of the other companies. So you may have 2, 3, or 4 more other companies that might want to come and take advantage of the railroad. So it's good that you have it open so that as much as we can get, anybody can use it. You can't have one company running a monopoly and want to be the referee and the player at the same time. And because they might say, okay, we have 50 trucks to move today, so the rail is black. The rail is back today until after certain hour. So it means the other party will not have access until they are ready to grant access. So it's the same form of monopoly. They were just trying to be smart in their way, but saying we don't oppose it, but we won't be there. We want to regulate it. It doesn't make sense. And so it's good that was taken away. You have an independent body that will regulate and ensure that everybody has a fair share of fair share of having access. So even you have other companies that might come and want to take advantage of the usage, they should be also gladly given the opportunity. And the government tends to benefit at the end of the day, and by virtue of that, whatever revenue comes into government coffers also spill down to the people. So there are a lot of other things they can do. So it's a good thing that we have passed that level. And that's the essence of speaking beautiful English.
So you considering it as part of the benefit for speaking beautiful English?
Oh yeah, and when the president was going there, you quickly endorse that before traveling to Washington.
Anyway,
and when you come back with beautiful English.
Wilfred, you think it's because of the beautiful English?
I mean, call it whatever you may, right? I'm sure, a relationship is important in these kinds of deals. And I think that's where FUBI may be coming from by injecting into the whole beautiful English piece, is that it's critically important to have these sort of relationships and, foster and develop these relationships over time. As we all know, President Trump is a transactional president. You like me, you scratch my back, I scratch your front. I mean, he's not, he doesn't go by a typical diplomatic way of doing things. He's strictly transactional. If you help me here, I will help you there. And it all played out to our benefit. But I like the deal. So even if we don't have anything secured to bring the oil from Guinea there, just having that real network there, here we have what we call the multimodal transportation system. So you can use that real network that we have there. I've said this a long time ago. They've written about it. I mean, why don't we have some sort of vehicle on that real network to be transporting people, be transporting goods? Load. We see how these trucks are overloaded, bringing in goods, and from whether it's Guinea or Ivory Coast or from up country. So this rail network will also help in that direction. So I mean, it could be a major. I mean, we see what the folks are doing, like on the bong mines, the old bong mines rail. They have these makeshift vehicles that they have built, and they put the coal and other products and stuff. I mean, they're heavily loaded, and they were pushing these things, they were pushing these things manually, So now we have this rail network that we're going to set up. Whether the iron ore deal comes through or not, we could use it and set up a multimodal transportation system on this rail. When there's time, I mean, we have BNSF here, for example. They take cars, they take goods and products, they take a whole bunch of, they ferry a whole bunch of things, Mami. So I think all around, this is a good thing for us. It's opening up the interior part of the country, and it will be a great way to transport goods and products from up country too as well, and as well as be part of, it will be integrated into a whole transportation system or a whole transportation network.
Thank you, Wilfred. Another weather. Yeah, but gentlemen, good that we are at this point. We are at the 15 minutes mark to be closing the show. We'll be closing by the 11:30, 6:30 your time. I mean 5:30 Winfrey, myself time. I don't know where FUBI is, but we'll be closing the show in 15 minutes.
Top secret. That's top secret. He can't tell you.
How you booking up about 11:30 time to on the GMT?
Okay. I thought you were in Nigeria. Because where the party is now, after the rental deal, where the party is, I thought where you were.
I'm afraid of Ogaden. I've been there once, but I didn't move around.
But when you going tomorrow?
No, I'm not about that train that they don't go there.
Anyway, gentlemen, we had a good discussion. We spoke about the rental deal. We spoke about Samuel Twer's case. We talked about Ivanhoe. You use 3 to 4 minutes of your time to just conclude, and then I will close up, and then yes. So we'll start with Van der Lack.
Yeah, so in my conclusion, I'd like to correct something. Initially, I mentioned that the president is the chairperson, is the presiding officer of the National Security Council. And somebody says the Minister of Justice is not a Minister of Justice. In his absence, the Minister of Justice can preside. With that being said, I want to reiterate that if Article 61 of the Liberian Constitution protects the president of Liberia from further prosecution while he was in office, every action taken while he in office, he cannot be penalized for that. That is presidential immunity in Article 61. If that protection is for the president, any directive given by the president to his ministers from his office, that individual should not be questioned, should not be held liable. Because the actions of the president can be in different forms. It can be verbal communication, it can be written communication, it can be formal and informal directives. You have to catalog the activities of the president, how he conducts the office of the president. So if this president says, we want you to provide money for XYZ, it is a presidential directive. And anything that happens in that case, when he leaves office, the president cannot be held liable. I'm not a lawyer, but these are critical issues I am looking at. In the code of competent jurisdiction, I am not. But in the code of public opinions, this is my view. The president gives a presidential directive to the Minister of Finance to do XYZ. The president is exercising his authority given to him under the Constitution. So if you're setting him free, it means the directive he gave and people executed, those people cannot be held liable for executing a presidential directive. That is my argument on the issue of Ivanhoe. Like I said, it's going to be a good deal. Liberia must celebrate.
Can you get 1 more minute, please?
Come again? Yes. Liberia must celebrate. 1 more minute. Liberia must celebrate. Those Indian boys were here. They kept Yekepa like a dump site. They kept the look in Buchanan like a dump site. They don't want to see competition. They want more competition. In fact, if another company can want to take railroad from whatever they want to use it simply, we should give it to them. You know, what you're talking about $1.4 billion revenue. You're talking about almost $600 million in taxes. They're going to use $1 billion to renovate or upgrade the railroad from Yekepa to Buchanan. And you want us to say no? No. We don't want it to be like Lone Star or here charging SIM card for $65. The movement, Orange King, everything came down. So we will benefit. They will be in competition. I think it was a very good show. I hope you can preserve. You can send all to safekeeping like the CEO does. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrick. Let's hear from Dr. Brookler. Dr. Brookler.
Thank you, Mommy. So, again, my orientation is always problem solving and learning from what we do and getting better. I think as we move forward, those who have the responsibility to negotiate for us must always think fewer years and more demands. Smart business people will never walk away from the table when they come to a resource-rich country like Liberia and to see opportunity. So we shouldn't be afraid. And the people who come are not the only one. There are others who want to tap into the resource of Liberia. In other words, 25 years, those are long years. Make that thing shorter. Second, demand more. You know, everything people want to do here that have to do our resources, demand more, particularly how we can convert some of the resource of value added and put our own people to work here. We got to become producers and not just sellers. We need a different mindset. So those who make decisions for us must not be happy to just collect money. We're not just a collection agency. We want to be a producing generation. And when we produce more, we're not only we're creating jobs, but we put ourselves in a good, healthy position to be more independent economically and not almost totally dependent on other people. So the negotiation strategy need to shift. It need to be shorter years, and it'll be more demand for value added, for production, using some of those resources in Liberia and having our own people be put to work. It's very important. Otherwise, we got to step back and ask ourselves. Dr. Phil, you used to ask the question, and I think you still ask that question, Winfred. How is it working for you? How is it working for you? So Liberia, we need to ask ourselves, how is it working? We need to ask our leaders, how is it working? Because after all these years, with all these resources, the super majority of people are very, very poor, and the basic needs have not been met. Clean drinking water is not available all across this country. In fact, even those also have means with our own water. We don't have city water running here. So we have to think differently, demand more of these people, and give them less years to operate, and don't just be anxious to collect the money. We need more than money. We need to be a production generation, not just a collection generation. And I think we'll be in a stronger place.
Thank you, Dr. Brooke.
Thank you, Mommy.
Winfred.
Thank you, Mame. It's great being here again. So I'd like to say thanks to all my fellow panelists for joining us this evening. I'll just use my closing time to say hi and appreciate all of the people who are watching us, listening to us from Huffman Station in Harper, Maryland County. So if you are out there and watching us, we'd like to say Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year. Thanks for taking the time to join us this evening. And also, if you are also in Clay, Bomi County, and you're sitting out there in Clay, Bomi County watching us, we also like to say thanks and we appreciate you for joining us this evening. Come back tomorrow. We'll be here again. So I'd like to say thanks for being a part of trying to find solution to the myriad of problems that we have in Liberia, just trying to contribute our quota to how we can help to move Liberia forward. So I'd like to say thanks to you all watching for wherever part of the world you are. I'd like to say thanks to you and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. My Christmas is on you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Winfred. Phoebe, before you come, I just wanted to share this. Unfortunately, Colette is not there to show. This book is authored by Dr. Ellen.
What would you like us to display?
Okay, so Phoebe can be going on. Go on, Phoebe.
All right. Okay, I'm here.
Yeah. So good show. Today the place not noisy, but on a serious note, the A lot of stuff we have to do as a country, and we gotta keep standing up for Liberia regardless of what it takes. On the issue of Summit Twelve, I know I heard Patrick's talking about it should be covered under the presidential immunity as per Article 61 because the president will give instruction. The Constitution is very clear. The presidential immunity does not extend to any other person besides the president. The legislature has the right to impeach the president if they think that the president commits some violation of the law or some crime. And after impeachment, they have the right to fall into court for formal prosecution. But anything short of that, and the president ends a term successfully and is retired from office, whether through defeated election or he refused to recontest or he ended his 2 terms, you cannot prosecute the president. But it doesn't mean that if you work as minister and you commit crime, you are covered under the presidential immunity. If that was the case, everybody will do wrong and say that the president told me to do wrong. And it will be covered under that immunity. And that's why that immunity is only on the president. The presidency carries that. No other person benefits from that, not even the vice president. So that's something which you all know. So if you work at the will and pleasure of the president and you decide to get yourself involved and use your hand to pick up somebody poo-poo, to just be wrong, at the end of the day, you're the one going to smell on. It's not a person that gave the insurance to pick it up. So you will go to court and you will face all the prosecution. When other reports come and reveal that you are entangled in corruption, you are the one that's going to face it, not the president. So whatever government you work in, people should have that at the back of their mind and know that the president is covered, and you that are working at the will and pleasure of the president, you are not covered. And the Supreme Court ruling is clear. It says that the Justice Minister acts. In the absence of the Justice Minister, the Defense Minister acts. But in this case with Samuel 12, neither the Justice Minister, even when you say the president didn't act, the Justice Minister didn't act, the Defense Minister didn't act. It was the acting Justice Minister who does not have the authority to act. And he presided, and Samuel 12 and co, all of them sat and they decided to do whatever stuff they did. So now they have to go to court and answer to whatever security implication or whatever security spending that they had to spend, whatever million they spent. I just put the NSA stuff in there, 56 million excess over NSA budget in 2023. And there were a lot of other stuff the guys did. So let them go and answer to their charges. They can be covered under presidential immunity. So if the president gets an instruction, must say in court, at the end of the day, the state not cover under it. They will not benefit from that. So we should be clear with this kind of people. So that would send a message to future ministers, current ministers and future ministers, that when you sit at a privileged position, you don't abuse it because you think the president told you to do it. Because at the end of the day, we have precedent cases with the Supreme Court that nobody is covered under presidential mandate. Brandon Samuka almost went to jail. It was Joe Weir that granted him immunity and prevented him from going to jail. So Samuel 12 now is faced with this own dilemma. He will go to court, and when the court finds him guilty, he will have to face the full weight of the law. So any other minister in future, when you commit crime and you think that the president gave instruction, know that the president's instruction does not cover you. Once it is in violation of the penal code, you are not covered. So guide yourself and govern yourself accordingly and act accordingly. You are not given privileged position to abuse it because you think that you got presidential immunity. You're not covered under that. Librarians have suffered so long in the LFM saga, Pepper Bush saga. Our Pepper Bush will eat. The LFM let go and go. It must stop at some point. And it's good that you can have the Minister of Finance being lit. And we should see this kind of thing happening. And the next set of finance minister will do that. They have to walk in chalk line and to make sure that they keep their hands out of the cookies jar. Do the right thing when you have the opportunity. It's a privilege to lead the people. Not everybody will be finance minister in their lifetime. Even though they got even the best brain, political people will put you there. But take advantage of that opportunity to do the right thing for the people to benefit, not to enrich yourself, because at the end of the day, you die, you're not carrying fasting or you to your grave. Thank you.
Could I please put up, book up? We just want to acknowledge the work of Dr. Ellen Mariam Samuels. She's authored a book titled Leading with Integrity, Lessons from Liberia Fight Against Corruption. So Phoebe, you just talking about the fight against corruption, how we can use our positions to be able to improve the lives of the people rather than seeing the country as a pepper bush or a cow meat to cut. So she's contributed. This book is on Amazon. She said, grounded in extensive field research within Liberia government, this book explores the dynamics of government integrity and the conditions under which ethical leadership can emerge, even in systems burdened by systemic corruption. So she's arguing that even though we see the system corrupt, there's systemic corruption, but even in the midst of systemic corruption, ethical leadership can still emerge. So having a systemic corrupt society is not sufficient justification. She's making a case that ethical leadership can still emerge in the midst of systemic corruption. While you're fighting to clean the system, there can be ethical leaders. And you only need those ethical leaders to clean the system. People who are not ethical leaders will not clean the system. So there must be ethical leaders to clean the systemic corrupt system. That's our argument. So if you're interested in how you can be an ethical leader to fight a systemic system, try to find a book, Leading with Integrity, Lessons from Liberia Fight Against Corruption, written by Dr. Ellen Mariam Samuels. Thank you very much. You can put it down and I will close. It was a very good show. We have a discussion. The discussion will continue. The agreements have been passed. Few sound bites I want people to pay attention to. Those who pass the law will tell you there are safeguards in the contract. We put safeguards in the contract. We learn from the license in the past, so we put safeguards in the contract. The safeguards are in the law. You violate the law, but you want us to believe that you get safeguard in the contract. The law says, the law puts safeguards. It said to safeguard the petroleum resources, petroleum agreement should be for 7 years. You close your eyes on that and give it for 10 years. Brushing aside this safeguard, but you're telling us that the safeguard that in the contract you put is the safeguard that you uphold. The one that is in the law before you, you step on it, but you're telling all the one you put in contract is what you uphold. All around in Liberia, other places, signature bonus are one-time payment. Clear. Is the first test of the company's financial capability to do the job. It's the first test of their commitment. You step it aside and do a pay with 4-year payment plan. Then you tell all we put safeguard in the contract. But the safeguard that is before you, which is the law, you step it aside. But the one that in the contract, you're making all the beliefs that why you uphold. The law says oil companies that are coming for exploration license should have the technical capability, proving technical capabilities. You step it aside, you go for paper guarantee. Then you're telling all you put safeguard in the contract. But the law before you says there must be proven track record of technical capabilities. You step that aside, you go for paper guarantee. But then you're telling all you got safeguard in the law. No, you don't have safeguard in the law. You're creating an incentive for these companies to come so they can operate. You're not safeguarding, you're creating incentive. These are the incentives. What are the incentives? From 7 years to 10 years. What are the incentives? From paying signature bonus one time to spread the 4-year payment plan. What are the incentives? Instead of demanding technical capabilities, you're asking for paper guarantee. Those are the incentives you're giving, because those are the safeguards in the law that you step aside. The discussion will continue. We will go on. What we're doing this? We're doing this because we want qualified, competent companies to come to the country and help us find oil. All around, these companies of this kind people gave them reconnaissance license to do basic activities, and then eventually when they get the resources or they get the partner, they can move into exploration. Right in Sierra Leone just provided reconnaissance license to a major company, I think ENI. Reconnaissance license, because they're not ready yet to do drilling, so they just gave up reconnaissance license. But back home, people who are not ready to drill, we gave the exploration license, we step aside the provisions in the law, and then telling us, hey, we got safeguard in the contract. Liberians, more discussion. It's good to be here. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about the concessions. We'll talk about every other thing. Nelson, Dr. Brooklyn, Winfrey, Fubi, it was good to be on. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Yeah. Thanks as well to our audience. Thanks to the panelists. Thanks to the moderator tonight, Ambula Mame, for handling the show. Thanks to the thousands of you who showed up, making sure that we have a great show tonight. The CEO will be on tomorrow. It's going to be a great edition of Spoon Talk tomorrow again. But we appreciate everyone always coming on. Our listeners across the country on Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric 101.1, Super 95.5 FM. We say thanks to all of you. Thanks to Voice of Liberia, the management there, for relaying this edition of the program. Thanks to all of our other partner radio stations for making sure that Spoon Talk can go across the country. We appreciate your respective contributions as well. And I want to say thanks to the many of you online, our online audience, following the show, commenting, engaging in the comment section, sharing your thoughts on the conversations. We appreciate you as well. Your engagements, sharing the show, your contribution, your involvement in the discourse means a whole lot, and we appreciate every single person on here for doing that. Just before I recognize few of you in the comment section who are still here with us, let me do a special wedding anniversary greeting to you, and Williet B. Morris. Williet Morris, you and their husband, you both are celebrating your 60 or 32nd wedding anniversary today. I want to say happy anniversary to you both as you celebrate another year of being together, another year of marriage. We wish you all the best, long life, good health as you celebrate this milestone. Again, we want to say happy wedding anniversary to you, Madam Williet B. Morris, as you celebrate your wedding anniversary today, and your darling husband, Reverend Wellington Morris. You're celebrating your 34th, your 34th wedding anniversary today, being the 18th of December. I want to say happy wedding anniversary to you both. And I also want to say happy birthday to you if you're celebrating your birthday today. I wish you all the best as you celebrate your special occasions. Happy birthday to you in case you're celebrating your birthday today. And thanks to everyone for being here. Let me recognize a few of you. I see Wicked Chill is here. Thank you for being here. Mamadou Nye, you're joining us with Zozo Lofa County. Thank you for watching the show. Patrick Mason, thank you for being here. I see Emmanuel Moses Jr. Thank you for being here. Nathaniel K. Hill is here tonight. Sarah Johnson, thanks for joining us. Jerry Dubley, we appreciate you for being here as well tonight. Saturday Yarate, Mr. Yarate, it's good to have you on. Thanks for joining us tonight. I see Randa Thomas is here tonight. Thank you. Anderson Kier, we appreciate you. Alfred Bidi, thank you for joining us. Aziz Carter, we appreciate you. Elizabeth Pisteria, thank you for joining us tonight. Yes, we appreciate all of you. You can come back tomorrow for another edition of the program. Sabatus M. Young, thank you for being here. Chukudolo, we appreciate you. Olivia Elliott Wright, thank you for joining us. Prince Banquedo Jr., thank you. Flex Otto Jr., we appreciate you as well. And you can join us tomorrow for another edition of Spoon Talk. Until then, I'm Nelson Collier. Have a good night and bye for now.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, standing with the spoon, and your boy, right in the south.